Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our Canadiens Connection live stream on YouTube for the Montreal Canadiens versus the Philadelphia Flyers tonight on January the 10th. It's a Wednesday night, and I'm here in the studio with my colleague from Rocket Sports, Nathan. Please make sure that you're subscribed to the Canadiens Connection podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us at CanadiensConnection.com. You can find all of our Montreal Canadiens content at thn.com/Montreal. And make sure you're giving us a follow just at this on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's at Habs Connection. And Nathan, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Michael. How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. It's the new year. Happy to be back in the studio here with you. And it should be a pretty fun game tonight. Two teams and kind of different points in the rebuild. The Philadelphia Flyers actually third place in the Metro, whereas the Canadiens seem to be towards the bottom of the Atlantic, about third last, but still kind of out of it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely two directions in the rebuilds, and the Flyers, they've been doing the rebuild a little bit longer than the Montreal Canadiens, but I'm looking forward to tonight's game against the Flyers.
Absolutely. And on that note, just like to invite everyone to drop their comments and questions in the chat. Let us know all of your thoughts and questions along the way, and we'll be happy to read those out and answer them. Also, we want to hear some predictions from everyone. What do you think the score is going to be, and who do you think is going to win? Get into the chat. Let us know. For those of you who's first time joining us on this live stream, we're going to do some live commentary. We have lots of different topics to talk about throughout the game too. A nice intermission show. We got my colleague Nathan here for Nathan's notes, so we're pretty excited to get to that, and just happy to have a nice community of hockey fans from around the world. Habs fans, we even get some fans of the other teams, so if we have any Philly fans in the chat tonight, let us know. We'd love to hear from all of you.
Yeah.
But couple lineup notes here. Nathan, did you want to go ahead and announce the starting goaltenders for both teams?
Yeah. So tonight's starting goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens is going to be Cayden Primeau. Cayden Primeau has played, I believe, 8 games this season, and he's 4-4. So far this season, he's been pretty good to start, but looking to see how he plays out for the Montreal Canadiens. And for the Philadelphia Flyers, the goalie starting tonight is Carter Hart.
Carter Hart's Samuel Urson tonight.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Samuel Urson is going to be the starting goaltender tonight, and he's doing fairly well for the Philadelphia Flyers. But looking to see that he gets a good game tonight, and looking forward to this goalie matchup between both teams.
Yeah, rookie goaltender too. His record coming into tonight: 9-5-3, goals against average 2.5, and 2 shutouts coming into tonight. So backing up for Carter Hart, I think he's done a pretty good job. And Carter Hart injured a little bit earlier this season, so he did a good job filling in for them. But looks like we have a few things popping up in the chat there if you want to pull those up.
Yeah, so from Rocket Sports, go Habs, go! Have a great live stream, Michael and Nathan. Thank you very much, Rocket Sports. We're gonna have lots of fun tonight. And from one of our colleagues, Amy Johnson. Hey, Michael and Nathan, have a great live stream tonight. Oh, we're gonna have a great live stream tonight, Amy, and looking forward to seeing everybody's comments and predictions in the chat tonight. So continue to bring all that stuff in.
Yeah, may I point out too, Amy Johnson is a longtime Flyers fan, located just outside of Pennsylvania there, I believe. So covering the Montreal Canadiens with Rocket Sports for a lot of years, as well as Laval Rocket. So this she's got a stake on both sides, but I think she'll be cheering for the Flyers tonight. In the chat as well, we've got Mark chiming in. Do you show the game? I'm in Dominican Republic. Well, we don't show the game, but we do some live commentary, and we'll talk about everything happening tonight. Some topics for both teams. So we're happy to have you here, and all the way from the Dominican Republic. That's pretty awesome. So happy to have you along with us there, Mark. Some general lineup notes to go through with you, Nathan. For Montreal Canadiens, Dvorak recently had season-ending injury. He had surgery on his pec, and he will not be in the lineup tonight. Pearson and Raphael Harvey-Pinard still going to be out on IR. And breaking news coming out of today, one Gustav Lindstrom has been claimed off of waivers by the Anaheim Ducks. So he is no longer a Montreal Canadian. He was acquired in the Jeff Petrie trade with the Detroit Red Wings, kind of an extra defenseman, and he was claimed. So good for the Ducks. Not a huge loss for the Montreal Canadiens, but we'll talk a little bit more about defensemen when we get to our intermission show.
Yeah, so just to pull up another comment here in the chat from Amy Johnson, just to confirm where she was. Yep, watching from Pennsylvania, about an hour from Philadelphia. Don't ask me who I want to get the win, LOL.
I think I have a little bit of suspicion, but we appreciate fans of all the teams in the chat here tonight. So thank you very much for that. And just some notes for the Philadelphia Flyers. Noah Cates and Ryan Ellis, the two injuries. Noah Cates, I believe, sophomore this season, had a pretty good rookie campaign last year. And of course, Ryan Ellis has not been able to play for a long time now. A player that I was actually a pretty big fan of, watching him at the World Juniors back in the day. So kind of a shame that he's just been so injury prone along the way.
Yeah.
Few moments away from puck drop here. Just want to recap the last two games as well, if we can. The Montreal Canadiens coming off of a shootout win against the New York Rangers. It's a 4-3 victory. Pretty good game for Sam Montembeault. Net made a highlight reel save in the shootout that a lot of people were talking about throughout social media. So a nice solid win for the Habs there. They had a 3-0 lead at one point, though, and they blew it, and they went all the way to the shootout. So Montreal Canadiens struggling to hang on to the leads as we go through this season. But for the Flyers, coming off of a 4-1 loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins, some division rivals, not a great campaign for them in that one. Kind of lacked in a lot of different areas. Not Carter Hart's best performance either.
Yeah, I mean, both teams, had different outcomes over the last game or so for each teams. One getting the victory, the Habs, and obviously the Flyers now losing to the rivals, the Pittsburgh Penguins. But I have this feeling that tonight's going to be one of those games where it's going to be very, very fun and exciting to watch with these two teams playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a little note here, too, and I think this gets talked about most of the time when Montreal is playing against the Philadelphia Flyers. But Marty St. Louis, a former player that played under coach John Tortorella, who's currently with the Philadelphia Flyers, says that he was his favorite coach when he was a player. Looks up to him quite a bit as a coach as well. So just keeping an eye on that. I don't know that Martin St. Louis really has any of the same traits that John Tortorella does as a coach. Do you agree with that one?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, Michael. And, I always like to see these two teams go up against each other, especially Tortorella and Martin St. Louis. It's the student looking up to the coach, right? So it should be an entertaining battle tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed you've got a nice new setup going on there, Nathan. You don't really have the big Canadiens flag behind you, but you got a couple garden gnomes in there too. Did you want to just give us a quick tour before the puck drops?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've got Montreal Canadiens flag like normal, and then I got two yard gnomes there I've had for many of years, and I got obviously a Montreal Canadiens puck. Actually, I have a Ken Dryden signed goalie card actually sitting there in front of one of the gnomes. But yeah, I'm gonna let my Montreal Canadiens collection continue to grow, and I'm happy to share it all with you guys as it keeps going on throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we have a fellow viewer, ADK Jr. Hello, from Saratoga Strings, New York. I probably butchered that. Saratoga Strings, rather, from New York. So truly, Habs fans coming from everywhere. So welcome you to the chat, and appreciate having everyone along. Just because some people are joining as we approach the puck drop, I'll just reiterate here, you'll get some live commentary from me. You'll get lots of comments and questions coming from Nathan. We have an awesome intermission show coming up. Nathan's notes, he'll give you all sorts of Habs and Philadelphia Flyers based topics. And along the way, we've got that live chat we want to see you all get involved. So let us know, who do you think is going to score that first goal? Get into the chat, and we'll be happy to answer your questions and read some of your comments on the stream.
Yeah, no, it's I'm excited to hear everyone's predictions. I want to hear, is it going to be a Habs win tonight? It's going to be a Flyers win tonight. Who's going to score that first goal? Let's hear some predictions in the live chat here.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking forward to that. Just a few moments, and the puck should drop pretty soon. But just before that, I'm curious, who are your players to watch in this game? The Philadelphia Flyers versus the Montreal Canadiens. Starting with the Canadiens, who do you have your eyes on?
Well, I had a couple players on this list, but I'm going to go ahead and say Cole Caulfield. He's had 3 goals in the last 5 games. Caulfield's been held off the score sheet over the last 2 games, and he's been playing well. He's changed his game a little bit, trying to be a little bit more defensively from what I've seen. But honestly, I would love to see him score against the Flyers tonight, and I'm looking for Cole Caulfield and the top line for the Montreal Canadiens to get out there and put some pucks in the net. And for the Philadelphia Flyers, I'm gonna go with Travis Konechny. He's had 4 goals and 7 points in the last 5 games. He's really been hot for the Philadelphia Flyers, and he's been on a roll. Like I said, he's had 7 points in the last 5 games, and looking for him to carry the Flyers tonight on that top line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are your players to watch tonight, Michael?
Well, for the Montreal Canadiens, I've got my eyes on one Brendan Gallagher, who has not scored a single goal since November. Although I don't think he's been playing outright bad, to be completely honest. I think he's been a decent player in the lineup. He's certainly brought some energy. I think he certainly fits on that third line pretty well. But looking for him to break that curse and finally get back on the board after a pretty lengthy scoring drought. We've seen a couple of those on the Montreal Canadiens, as Josh Anderson went a long while without scoring his first goal of the season. Since then, he's actually been pretty good. But on the other end, my player to watch out for on the Philadelphia Flyers, I'm actually going to narrow it down to 2. First and foremost, there's a Habs connection going on with one Ryan Poehling centering that fourth line on the Philadelphia Flyers. He's speedy. He's a player that I liked quite a bit in Montreal, so I'm certainly going to be watching out for him. And one very newly acquired, Jamie Drysdale, making his Flyers debut tonight. He's in the lineup, probably on that top pairing for the Philadelphia Flyers. He was acquired along with a second-round pick in exchange for one Cutter Gauthier. We'll break down that trade during our intermission show, so I won't talk too much about that right now. But that's a pretty solid young defenseman. A little bit of injury trouble throughout his early career, but I'm very curious to see how he fits under that John Tortorella system.
No, I completely agree with you, Michael. And it's going to be entertaining to see how he does, like you said, fit in that system. And is he going to come out strong? He's going to come out a little bit, shaky, so to speak, because he's on a first game in a Flyers uniform.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that John Tortorella is kind of, I guess, a hard head, if we could put it that way. So I'm curious how that's going to go. He's a smaller defenseman as well, I believe, about 5'11". He's still very young, more known for his offensive capabilities and his puck moving abilities. So I'm just curious where he's going to fit in under that John Tortorella system in general. So definitely have my eyes up on him. And these Philadelphia Flyers certainly overachieving so far this season. Last year, I think they hit kind of a rock bottom, if I'm being honest. But they've come in this year. I think they've had some better goaltending. That's been a huge step up for them. Both Carter Hart and Sam Ersson have been much better than what they've had last season. And defensively, they've been pretty tight as well.
Yeah, no, the Philadelphia Flyers, I mean, to be honest, in my opinion, they kind of shocked me as well. I didn't see them being in playoff picture this early in the season. But it's good to see that they're getting the wins that they want, and it looks like their rebuild is going in the direction that they intended to.
So as the puck drops here, just wanted to take a moment as well to get to tonight's mission, our keys to the game. Nathan, what is your key to the game for both teams?
Okay, so my keys to the game for the Habs, the Habs scored a total of 10 goals and allowed 16 goals over their past 5 games. I'm looking for them to, I think I say this a lot, but I'm looking for them to play that full 60 minutes. When they played the New York Rangers last game, they were up 3-0, like you said at the beginning of the show, and it became 4-3 win for the Montreal Canadiens. So we got to look for Montreal to stay ahead of the game and not break the lead in the third period. And for the Philadelphia Flyers, I'm looking for them to bounce back from that Pittsburgh Penguins game. They didn't really look their greatest. They didn't look like they were a playoff team playing against those Pittsburgh Penguins. But honestly, with the new addition of Jamie Drysdale and them coming to Montreal, it should be an entertaining game to watch for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. So game underway, just a little bit over a minute into it. Primo made one stop there. It looked like it could have been a bit of a dangerous chance off the backhand, but that one stays out of the net. Might have even bounced off the post a little bit there too. Caden Primo, actually, interesting note, his dad, Keith Primo, was a captain of the Philadelphia Flyers. So just wanted to put that out there, as it's always nice to see him get the start in Philadelphia. On my end, keys to the game, you actually read my mind with the Montreal Canadiens, and it's consistency through 60. Do not sit back. On a number of occasions, they've struggled to play through every single period, and quite often they end up blowing leads. So you want to see them keep their foot on the pedal, not let go. But if you're the Philadelphia Flyers, it's going to be all about that tight defense. Shut down the Montreal Canadiens, because if you can stop that offense, then they really don't have a whole lot else. Montreal not quite as tight on the back end as the Philadelphia Flyers, so that's certainly something that I want to see the Flyers accomplish tonight. So Montreal breaking the puck down to the other end there. A race to get to the puck there at the Philly blue line. Montreal does get to it first. You have Monahan throwing the puck around to the defenseman at the point. They're just going to cycle it a little bit around here, trying to keep that puck away from the Philadelphia Flyers, who have actually been pretty tight in their coverage so far. And a shot and a goal. Shot from the point. It seems to have alerted Urson. It looks like a shot from Justin Barron. 1-0 for the Montreal Canadiens. So quick start for them. What do you think happened here? That was almost felt like a bit of a fluky one.
Yeah, I mean, from the replay, it looked like it went off the Philadelphia Flyers defenseman and kind of trickled underneath the glove of Urson. So, I mean, kind of a lucky bounce for the Habs, but definitely an unlucky bounce for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, absolutely. So Montreal off to that 1-0 start. I believe that was their first shot of the game as well. So kind of crazy that they were able to start off that quickly. So if you can send in a nice little "Go Habs Go" in the chat like Brooke Clark did, there you go. 1-0 for the Montreal Canadiens, and not the start that the Philadelphia Flyers wanted.
Yeah, so just want to kind of go back to the chat real quick. If Primo is from Ms. Blaine, sorry if I mispronounced your name. If Primo is on his game, Habs win for sure.
Absolutely. Primo's been a little bit, he's another one of those Habs that struggled to play that full 60, I think. So it'll be interesting
Yeah,
to see how he performs in Philadelphia tonight.
yeah. I mean, Philadelphia or in Caden Primo, he plays a lot better away from the Bell Center so far this season. So I have a little bit of feeling that he should play a good game here in Philly.
Yeah, absolutely. Montreal currently in the offensive zone. They had a couple opportunities, but no shot on net before the Philadelphia Flyers clear it back to the other end. Both teams looking to regroup and maybe go on a little bit of a change. Montreal's going to break it to the other end. But feel free to get into the chat here. We've gotten a lot of great comments and questions so far. So please let us know if you have any thoughts along the way. Get into the chat.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just kind of go back to the chat. So Amy Johnson, to go back to the Ryan Paling, I drafted Paling to my Rocket Sports fantasy hockey team back in October. That's awesome to hear. And HEB Sports, what's your contact for a business opportunity? Well, I'm gonna let you take this one, Michael.
I think we'll get to some other questions in the chat there quickly. We'll get to Brooks' comment there if you want.
Oh, I was thinking a 4-3 for the score. So prediction 4-3 win. That's I think that's a good prediction. What's your prediction, Michael? What do you think the score is going to be on the game?
I think it's going to be a 4-3 for Philly tonight, but don't tell anyone. As the Philadelphia Flyers there get a quick shot on net, stopped and covered up by Caden Primo. He was standing at the top of his crease there, so Caden Primo, 3 saves so far, looking pretty comfortable. He tends to slide around quite a bit in that crease, and sometimes he goes way out of position, so nice to see that he's remaining calm so far in this game. So Montreal off to that quick start with the 1-0 lead as we're approaching that 15-minute mark. Once again, they're going to break it into the offensive zone. But the Philadelphia Flyers come back the other way with it. Just to get back to the chat for a moment here. Amy Johnson with an awesome comment. You are correct. His dad, Keith Primo, played for the Flyers when Caden was little. So there you go. That's the Caden Primo connection to Philadelphia. So we appreciate some confirmation on that. Amy's also going to predict 4-2 Philadelphia win. So she said she wouldn't tell us who she's cheering for tonight, but I think maybe she was showing her cards a little bit. So let us know too. Let's get a little bit of a roll call going. Let us know where you're from, where you're watching from. We get lots of viewers from all over the globe, so we're always excited to hear where everyone is tuning in from. We've had people from Russia, Europe, all across North America as well, so that's been pretty great to see.
Yeah, another comment here from Amy Johnson. Hey, that's just a prediction, not cheering, LOL.
Prediction. Love it. So keep getting into the chat. Definitely want to hear from everyone there.
Yeah. Well, Amy, I'm going to predict a score for the game as well. I'm going to predict a 5-4 win Flyers tonight. A little bit of a high-scoring game, but my gut's telling me it's going to be a Flyers win. As much as I am a Habs fan, my gut's telling me something. I gotta go with my gut.
Yeah, absolutely. And a breakaway almost for the Philadelphia Flyers. Luckily, the Montreal defenders get back just in time to break that one up. Almost looked like Philly had a golden opportunity to get a shot on the net there. Only 3 shots on net for the Philadelphia Flyers to Montreal's 1, but that one has gotten to the back of the net. Philly with a nice opportunity there once again. Montreal doing a good job to shut down that offense and send it all the way to the other end. Comment there coming in from one of our viewers, and they say, I'm watching from my living room here in Montreal. Unfortunately, can't watch it visually because I don't have RDS, so we appreciate that you're tuning in with us tonight. Love to see all the comments and questions coming in from everyone. Caden Primo with a nice stop there, standing up, covering up that puck. And it looks like we might get to a quick break here. Looking at the chat once again, watching from Dallas, Texas, but have to go shopping for groceries soon. We'll keep this open though, so we appreciate that as well. Thank you for watching all the way from Dallas. That's pretty awesome. Like I keep saying, we get people from all over the globe here, so very excited to chat with you all.
Yeah,
and
everywhere.
Absolutely. And Nathan, we're just coming back from the holidays here, and I believe you got some interesting hockey or Montreal Canadiens based gifts.
Yes.
Did you want to talk about those at all and share them?
Yeah, I'll quickly just list off what I got. So I wanted to get ready for spring summer season, and was able to get a Montreal Canadiens Yeti, which is pretty awesome to have for those cold drinks to stay cold for a long time. And I do a lot of barbecuing in the spring and summer, so I was able to get a lot of Montreal Canadiens barbecue utensils and a cover for my barbecue. So I'm really expanding my Habs memorabilia and looking forward to using that throughout the year.
That's pretty awesome. Love to see that. Unfortunately, I didn't get any Montreal Canadiens gifts personally, but I did get an interesting scarf for CF Montreal. Kind of a
Yeah.
cool one, not hockey based at all. I don't particularly watch soccer, but thought that would be an interesting one to show off. And of course, sporting my Laval Rocket hat tonight, uh, thought that would be nice to show off as the Laval Rocket are actually playing a game at the same time as the Montreal Canadiens today. So periodically, I might go ahead and check in just to let everyone know what the score is with that. And looks
Yeah.
like we're going to get back to the game in just a few minutes here. But it's been awesome just to see how many people are in the chat today. Continue to send in your questions and comments along the way, and we'll be happy to get to some of those as well. It's going to be a puck dropping in the Montreal Canadiens zone. It'll be Jake Evans out there for the Canadiens to get to that face-off. About what is it? Less than 15 minutes ago in this period, at the 13-minute mark, roughly. One shot on goal still for the Montreal Canadiens. So not a ton coming outside of that Justin Barron shot from the point that seemingly steep behind the Philadelphia goaltender, kind of surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, outside, yeah, like you said, outside that goal, we haven't really seen much in the offensive zone for the Montreal Canadiens. And we got to give credit where credit is due. The Philadelphia Flyers are playing, keeping the Montreal Canadiens out of their zone and keeping that puck. So it's like I said, it's going to be a great game, and I'm looking forward to see how the rest of this game plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little update on the Laval Rocket. They're currently losing 1-0 about halfway through the first period against the Utica Comets. Periodically, I will bring that up. And there you go. Amy Johnson beat me to it in the comments. So we appreciate that. Amy does a lot of work covering the Laval Rocket. So make sure that you stay up to date with us. Just follow at Rocket Sports on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can find all that content there. Philadelphia with a few opportunities in the offensive zone. A shot there. Looks like Caden Primo made a nice sprawling save, athletic save as well. Keep the puck out of the net. Keep it 1-0 for the Canadiens. The Flyers storming back here quickly. A bit of an error pass, but they managed to keep it in the offensive zone. Kind of strolling in there, looking for any opportunity to get the puck towards the net, but Philly fails to do so. Montreal trying to clear it out, and it will get past the blue line. They break it into the offensive zone, send it right behind the net. Philly is first to get to that puck. They'll try to break that puck out pretty quickly here. They manage to almost an odd man break, but they're unable to hang on to that pass. Battling behind the Montreal Canadiens goal line. Montreal does prevail. They're trying to send it out, but Philly gets that puck, and they do keep it in the offensive zone here, looking for a shot. A little bit of energy coming from that Philadelphia line. Shot there, stopped by Primo. Monahan gets knocked down awkwardly, and it looks like a penalty is on the way. Coming up against the Philadelphia Flyers, looks like a cross-check there. So, Montreal Canadiens coming to the power play, and John Tortorella does not look too impressed on that one, does he?
No, I don't think he liked to see that this early in the period, especially being down 1-0. And especially with the Philadelphia Flyers really controlling most of the play, this could be a really big momentum swing if the Habs do score.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at what happened to Monahan there. That could have been kind of dangerous. I do think that the Philadelphia player that sent the cross check kind of held back a little bit. But right in front of the boards, if Monahan went head first in there, that could have been quite dangerous. So I think the officials got the right call.
Yeah.
Montreal off to the power play with that 1-0 lead, but Philly leading the shots department 6-1 so far. They've had a nice little opportunity in the offensive zone, coming in and out and getting some good opportunities on net.
Yeah, so just quickly going back to the chat here from Canadiens Connection. Caden Primo typically wins against Philly and New Jersey, so 4-2 Habs. I love the prediction.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Canadiens Connection, for tuning in with that one. As Montreal gets a nice shot, that one does not go through, though, and it looks like the Philadelphia Flyers will prevail. Did you know that the Philadelphia Flyers actually lead the NHL in shorthanded goals? So Montreal is going to want to watch out for that one. They're not going to want to send Philadelphia with a wide open chance shorthanded there.
Yeah, no, if they're leading the NHL, we don't want that at all. We don't want to give them any opportunity to come back in this game. But
Yeah, absolutely. And Montreal kind of struggling to hold the puck in the offensive zone here. Pucks come in and out of the blue line a few times. Philly doing a good job on this penalty kill overall. And there's an odd man rush. And that one gets broken up and covered up by Caden Primo. He'll send it behind the net to keep the play going. Less than a minute on the power play for the Canadiens. No shots so far. Best opportunity coming for the Philadelphia Flyers there if it wasn't for a last second breakup of that breakaway by the Philadelphia Flyers forward there. Great opportunity for them to score, but good defensive play by Montreal at the very least.
yeah, no, for sure. It's good to see that Montreal's got their legs here going to at least try to get the puck there. But we're looking to see them get into the offensive zone and hopefully get a shot here on the power play.
Yeah, a couple missed shots that don't hit the net. They're trying to keep that puck alive, but Philadelphia being very aggressive along the boards there. And it looks like they'll be able to clear that out once again. 2 seconds left on that power play, and it's back to even strength. No shots on net for the Philadelphia Flyers on that. For the Montreal Canadiens on that power play, rather. So unfortunately, it does not look like Montreal has had a whole lot of luck since scoring that opening goal. They are in the offensive zone, though. They're trying to get that second shot on net. It looks like they might have gotten it, but a nice save there. Philadelphia does clear it out. They're looking to regroup a little bit. And it looks like Philadelphia is going to be able to come away with a little bit of a breakout coming into the zone, trying to find a pass, but that gets broken up by the Montreal defender pretty easily. Cycling that puck behind the net. Montreal looking now to break it out. And Philadelphia once again gets in the way here. It's been all Philly since that Montreal goal. Perhaps a bit of an undeserved lead so far in the first half of this first period.
Yeah, I mean, just judging by the stats and the game plan, what we're seeing on the game here, it's like you said, Michael. I couldn't agree with more. It's Philadelphia have been all over Montreal right now. It's 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 a 1-0 game, but we still have 3/4 of the game to go to see if Montreal can turn this around.
And it looks like Montreal shot and a goal, 2-0 for the Canadiens on that one. So as you were talking, great play there. It completely
Wow.
eludes the Philadelphia Flyers goaltender. He's not off to a good start at all. Deflection right in front, kind of goes top corner. Looks like it was Slavkovsky with the deflection on that one. So the
Oh
Montreal
wow.
Canadiens, 2-0. And only one save for that Philadelphia goaltender so far. Kind of a crazy start for them. I wonder if this continues, how long before we're going to see Carter Hart in the net?
Yeah, I mean, if pucks keep going in like this, I know. I mean, like that one's just a deflection and kind of flutters over him. There's nothing you really do about it. But I mean, I think if I was Philadelphia Flyers, if it continues going down this path, I would definitely change the goalies for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Just gonna take another quick look at the chat. Canadiens Connection says, "Do we like John Tortorella's warm-up jacket look or the traditional suit and tie behind the bench?" And Amy's actually gonna respond to this one and says, "At Canadiens Connection, I don't think I want to tell Torts what he should wear one way or another." I completely agree. That is a very scary man. I would not give him any recommendations or suggestions whatsoever. And one more thing coming from Amy Johnson in the chat. Do I hear a Go Habs Go chant in the chat? So send us a Go Habs Go if you're a Habs fan. We'd like to hear from you on that one. And a nice little nah, hey, goodbye coming into the chat. Pretty early in the game, only 2-0. But of course, they're coming in down. Sorry, I got a little carried away. That's totally fine. Don't want to jinx it.
I love it.
So continue to send us all your comments and questions in the chat there. And Another comment coming about the Philadelphia goaltender. New Ursa couldn't keep this strong run forever. Yeah, he had a great first half of the season. One of the better rookie goaltenders in the league, and this is not a good start to the game for him whatsoever. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, the Montreal Canadiens up 2-0 on what appears to only be 2 shots on goal. No safe so far for that Philadelphia goaltender.
Yeah, that must hurt a little bit, to be honest. I wouldn't know what to really. I definitely would have to like take a 5 minute or 5 second breather here and recollect myself if I was playing that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Montreal, once again, with the puck in the offensive zone, skating through the corner and trying to pass it off to the point, looking for more opportunities. But the Philadelphia Flyers doing a good job hanging on to that puck and getting it out of the zone. But once again, Montreal with a little bit of a dump and chase. Philly, the first one to get to that puck, trying to cycle it out and go on another break. It's a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Flyers. That one gets broken up by the late defender back. I believe that was Matheson. But Philly hangs on to the possession. He's going to get a shot on net. That one just kind of takes a weird bounce and lands flat in the center of the Montreal Canadiens defensive zone. But Montreal manages to prevail with the puck behind the net. That's Matheson there, just looking to slow things down, wait for the change.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is there any Philadelphia Flyers fans on this live stream tonight? What are your guys' predictions? What are your thoughts about the game so far? We really want to hear what you guys are thinking, and yeah, let's
Little
start.
boohoo Flyers coming in, and a nice boo coming in from Brooke Clark. So, of course, a Habs fan there. They're pretty happy with the result. And fortunately, the Flyers just not a good start to this period, despite the fact that I think they've actually been the better team in this one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Michael. Philadelphia has definitely been the better team this period, and then obviously a couple bounces that went the way of the Habs, which is nice to see. Because we both know that Montreal is about 50-50 on those lucky bounces. So it's good to see we got a couple this game and so early in the game as well.
Of course. Pookie comes in with, I think my new Habs jersey is bringing them luck, lol. So I'm guessing you got a new Habs jersey over the holidays. So that's pretty awesome. And of course, now it's a superstition. If they win this game, then you have to wear that jersey all the time. Don't take it off ever. Less than 5 minutes in this period. Looks like Montreal is going to have an opportunity to break the puck down to the other end, but Philadelphia holds on to possession. They get a nice wide open shot. Primo way out of his net and a Philly goal. What in the world was Primo doing on that one? Way out of his net, not even close.
Oh,
wow.
yeah, I don't even know what happened there.
Just looks like that's going to be Owen Tippett that scores that one for the Philadelphia Flyers. Primo comes across the ice. Actually, it looks like maybe some Montreal defenders gone his path and coming back, but he didn't even try to get back in front of the puck. Didn't even attempt to go side to side. He just kind of stood up and gave up. I wonder if he just completely lost sight of where the puck is. And now it's a 1-goal game, 2-1 for the Montreal Canadiens as the Flyers come back and they manage to score that goal to come within one. So their seventh shot of the game gets past Caden Primo and wide open net. I don't know who to blame more, Primo or those Montreal players that just got in the way.
Yeah,
for no apparent reason.
Yeah, there's Harris and Suzuki in Primo's way there in the crease, so makes it very challenging for Primo to slide over.
Yeah, so goals so far in this game. The first one coming about a minute and a half in from Sean Monahan, his 11th from Justin Barron and Caden Gooley. Uri Slavkovsky scores the second one for the Montreal Canadiens. That's his 5th of the season, coming from David Savard and Michael Pizzetta. And of course, that's Owen Tippett with his 14th of the season from Sean Couturier and Travis Konechny. So, unfortunately, for the Montreal Canadiens, their 2 shots, 2 goals has been cut in half as they only lead 2-1 right now. And of course, great comment coming in from Canadiens Connection. Primo watching from Voorhees, New Jersey. Love that.
Oh, that's
and A.B. Johnson. Okay, chat. Let's hear it. Gritty, love him or hate him. I love Gritty. Like,
Yeah, Gritty's
if
amazing.
anyone hates Gritty, I'd be shocked. Let us know, though.
Yeah,
About
no,
3.5 left in this one, though. Shots still 7-2 for the Flyers. Montreal looking for an opportunity to break into the offensive zone. Passes get broken up pretty easily by the Philadelphia Flyers, and they'll cycle it around. Coming towards the end here, I do want to remind everyone who's tuning in, tap that like button, hit the share button, get more Habs fans to join the show. We appreciate you all being here tonight. And if you like it, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. We're going to do about 2 of these per month. So if you don't want to miss any of them, this is the best way to make sure that you stay informed. And you're more than welcome to continue to join us on these live streams throughout this NHL season. About 2.5 left to go in this period. Philly in the offensive zone. They look to be buzzing quite a bit. Cycling that puck around, doing a good job to keeping that puck away from the Canadiens. But as I say that one comes outside the blue line. Great stick check there by, I believe that was Sean Monahan, to force the puck out of the zone. And it looks like Montreal, with a quick change, gets set up in the offensive zone. And a bit of a tumble leads to the Montreal Canadiens having the puck come out, and the Philadelphia Flyers going the other way.
Yeah, so I just want to jump right back to the comments here real quickly from Amy Johnson. Welcome to all the new viewers who all have come into the show. Drop a hello where you're watching from in the chat. Yeah, no, hello to all the new viewers. Yeah, let's hear your predictions. Let's hear where you're from. Yeah, let's hear you guys all in the chat.
Absolutely. And like I said, too, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you're enjoying this time with us. We appreciate you all being here and watching the game with us tonight. Montreal versus Philadelphia Flyers, as Montreal currently has a lead 2-1 off of 2 shots. Scramble in the Caden Primo net in the crease. And that one does get poked out and to safety. Almost a goal for the Philadelphia Flyers there. Caden Primo, no idea where the puck was whatsoever, and that scramble comes out actually from underneath his pad, and the Montreal defender throws the puck all the way to the other end. So close call.
Yeah.
1 minute left. I would be shocked if the Philadelphia Flyers got out of this without scoring at least one more goal in this period. They have control in the offensive zone right now. Trying to get anything going towards Caden Primo right now looks dangerous. He's down on the ice. Now there's a big scuffle. Looks like Anderson has pinned down one of the Philadelphia forwards. Scramble between all the players, kind of scrumming at the side of that Caden Primo net. I wonder if there's going to be any penalties coming out of this one, but kind of a harmless play that just got thrown towards Caden Primo turns into a huge scramble, and all of a sudden everyone's in a big scrum at the side of the net. So Caden Primo, I said at first he looked pretty confident. I don't think he looks so confident anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. It's right off that first goal, and then over the last 2-3 minutes, I mean, from what I'm seeing, it looks like he's not being able to follow the puck as easy as he's been able to in the past. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's just about it. That's been Caden Primo's MO, being a little bit slow, being very scrambly, and not having a good time following that puck. So fortunately, I'll say very fortunately for Montreal, this is a 2-1 lead, despite being very heavily outplayed, I think, by the Philadelphia Flyers. Only 2 shots on net for Montreal, and to be honest, both of those, I think, were very stoppable goals. It's just Samuel Urson not having a good time in net for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say a little bit of a shaky start for both goaltenders as the period has gone on, for sure.
Absolutely. A little bit of an update. Laval Rocket, the wrong side. There we go. Tied now 1-1 after a Joshua Waugh goal. They were down 1-0 for the first little bit of that first period. Joshua Waugh, very good Montreal prospect, having a pretty good season in Laval so far. Managed to score and tie this one up 1-1. So we'll try to keep you up to date with the Laval Rocket, as they are playing at the exact same time as the Montreal Canadiens on a Wednesday of all days.
Yeah. Just going back to the chat here. sorry if I mispronounced your name, Aline. Come on, Montreal, go. And then from Amy Johnson, a welcome, Aline. And welcome. And we enjoy you being here with us and jumping on the chat.
Absolutely. Less than 1 minute to go in that first period. I think they might be looking to review this. That might have gone into the back of the net. Brian Paling was celebrating during that scramble, and it looks like the referee is he's got the headphones on and he's watching some video. So potentially a Philadelphia Flyers tying goal coming after the commercial break. Kind of a crazy sequence overall, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the replay right now, and to be honest, it doesn't. It looks to be a goal, but we'll obviously wait for the refs to see what is the final outcome of it. What do you think you've seen?
Well, just got called there, no goal. So referee announcing it did not cross the line. John Tortorella does not look happy. Like I said, scary man there. But looking at the replay, I don't think it's conclusive that it crosses the line, at least from the angle they're showing on my stream here. They're showing a bit of a different angle, and let's see. Actually, it looks like I could have, but I don't think there's going to be anything conclusive here, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
so it's going to remain 2-1 for the Montreal Canadiens. So, like I keep saying, Montreal very heavily outplayed, outshot 10-2 by the Philadelphia Flyers so far. 40 seconds to go, looking for that puck to drop and bring us towards the end of the period. Make sure you stick around, though, after this period. We have a great intermission show lined up for you. My colleague here, Nathan, is going to do some good analysis on this period. And then we have some topics for both the Flyers and the Canadiens. The Flyers made a trade yesterday, if you hadn't heard. Cutter Gauthier going to the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for Jamie Drysdale in a second. And this is Jamie Drysdale's debut as a Flyer tonight. So make sure that you tune in and stick with us for the remainder of this show. About 10 seconds left here. Montreal actually in the offensive zone. No shots on net. Philly trying to make one final breakout here, but I don't think they're going to end up having time. Montreal playing some keep away, just trying to survive the rest of this period. And that's it. 2-1 for the Montreal Canadiens over the Philadelphia Flyers. One period down. Being very outshot 10-2 for the Flyers so far on this one. What we'll do here quickly is we'll take about a 3-minute break, and then we'll be back here for our intermission show. So make sure that you stick with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. welcome back to our live stream watch along here on YouTube. Canadiens Connection is the podcast that I am the host of. I'm Michael Spinella. In case you don't know, you can find our podcast every single Saturday on all of your favorite podcast platforms. And also, you can just in general find all of the podcasts at CanadiensConnection.fm. If you like our content, you can find everything at thn.com/Montreal. You have your game day content, previews, game previews, post-game recaps, feature articles, and we also cover the Laval Rocket and Habs prospects on there. Follow at Rocket Sports on all of your favorite platforms. On Twitter, it's just at Rocket Sports. On Instagram, it's at Rocket Sports Media. And on Facebook, it's at Rocket Sports Media Inc. So make sure that you follow all of those, and you're never going to want to miss a single episode of the Canadiens Connection podcast as well. Also, subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're here to do about three streams or 2 streams per month, rather. We have a couple shows that come out throughout the week. Also, we have 3 of them. That's where the 3 comes from. The Canadiens Connection gets posted on here. Also, Amy Johnson, our Rocket Sports Media colleague, hosts the Habs Hockey Report and the Rocket Hockey Report. So you can find all those episodes on here to stay up to date with everything Montreal Canadiens throughout this busy season. And boy, these Montreal Canadiens always have something interesting going on. Nathan, this was kind of a crazy period in which I thought Montreal got outplayed. What are your quick thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what, Michael, I completely agree with you. Montreal, they didn't really look good, to be honest. If you look at the stats, I mean, the score has a different story, but if you look at everything else, high danger scoring chances, possession of the puck, shots on net, it's all been leaning towards the Philadelphia Flyers, and I think Montreal has got a little bit of luck on their side to be up in this game 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Montreal scoring on their only 2 shots on goal. Oddly enough, that's not going to happen too often. Bad start for that Philadelphia goaltender, Samuel Urson, and Caden Primo. Kind of a rough start as well, if I'm being honest. Looking very scrambly in goal. And that lone Philadelphia goal, way out of his net, not even trying to get back in position. We also pointed out that it looked like some Montreal players were kind of in the way, but come on, Caden Primo, you could try a little bit harder than that, if I'm being completely honest. And during this intermission show, we're going to do a little something called Nathan's Notes. So this is Nathan, my colleague. He covers the Montreal Canadiens. He does a lot of stuff on our social media. Make sure, like I said, go to thn.com/Montreal to find everything. And I kind of teased this a bit as we went through that first period, but Philadelphia made kind of an interesting trade yesterday, sending Cutter Gauthier to the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for Jamie Drysdale and a second-round pick. Just quickly here, what's your thought on that? Cutter Gauthier was a pretty good prospect.
Yeah, I mean, judging by his recent gameplay in the World Juniors and in the NHL, he's been looking great. I mean, he's been very good for Philly, and I was honestly really shocked to hear about this trade go down yesterday. But I think both teams got pretty good players that will be able to help out their franchises, and I think it's a pretty good trade for both teams.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like I said, I'm very high on one Cutter Gauthier. Actually, I loved him in his draft year. He was someone that I actually could have argued to be first overall when Slavkovsky was drafted, but I believe he went 5th to the Flyers. But he had a great World Juniors as well this past year, just a couple weeks ago, actually. But then on the other end, you have Jamie Drysdale, a bit of an undersized defenseman, more of a puck mover, more of an offensive guy. Had some injury trouble in his first 3 seasons in the NHL. Only played, I think, 81 in his first year. The last 2 seasons, I think he's maybe gotten to 10. What do you think the Philadelphia Flyers are getting back in Jamie Drysdale? And do you think that it's going to be pretty easy to chalk this one up as a loss for the Flyers?
You know what? I think what they're getting in Jamie Drysdale is they're getting a defenseman that, like you said, he's a little bit smaller, but he moves the puck. Yeah, he plays good in his own, and he was ranked pretty high in his draft year. He was sixth overall in his draft year, and I think the Philadelphia Flyers are getting a great defenseman back. And for Kutagochi going over to Anaheim Ducks, I think, judging by his gameplay, like I said, I think he's going to be a good fit there with their young core over in the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we kind of speak about Cutter Gauthier and that draft that he was in, just looking at the last two drafts, both the Montreal Canadiens and the Philadelphia Flyers have had a lot of first-round picks. These last two drafts, both teams actually coming away with three first-round picks, both with picks in the top 10 and a pick later on in the 20s. So between 2022 and 2023, Montreal in the first round comes away with Slavkovsky, Mishar, and Reinbacher. The Philadelphia Flyers come away with Gauthier, Michkov, and Bonk. Point blank, you look at both of these groups. Which group do you think that you would rather have if you're a rebuilding team?
To be honest, I'd like to amalgamate the two. For me personally, I would stick with Uri Slavkovsky, Philip Messar, and um, this one's going to be a little. This might open up some old wounds for some Habs fans for last year's draft. But I would have, for my personal opinion, I would have definitely take Michkov over Reinbacher. The reason why is that Montreal's got a lot of good defensive prospects in our system, and we don't really have that we don't really have that number one scorer that would be able to bring us like 80 plus point seasons as of yet. People could develop and get to that point with some of the prospects we have in our system. But I think Michkov would have been, that one player that would have been able to stand out from the rest.
So certainly opening up those wounds, and like the chat to chime in as well as to which crop you do prefer. Honestly, if I were to take 3-on-3 for each crop and I had to only pick one of them, I like the Flyers draft picks in the first round the last two seasons. Cutter Gauthier, like I said, I'm a huge fan of this guy. He's going to be a great player. I thought before he got traded, this is a Flyer. He's either a Flyer or he's a Bruin. He's that type of player, to be completely honest. So I definitely would have preferred that. And also, huge fan of Oliver Bonk playing in the queue right now. I think great defenseman. Nothing against Reinbacher. I'm sure he'll be good too. But I am a huge Oliver Bonk and some Montreal Canadiens ties as well, as that's the son of one Radek Bonk. And of course, you talked about Michkov. Uh, it was just such a difficult situation. Unfortunately, I can't speak to it too much, but I think the Philadelphia Flyers certainly got away with a nice crop there. They did what they could, getting back Jamie Drysdale in that Cutter Gauthier trade. There have been some reports out there to say that Philadelphia Flyers had some trouble getting in touch with Cutter Gauthier in his camp and trying to negotiate a contract there. Do you think that Philadelphia's hand was maybe forced here and they just salvaged what they could out of the situation?
Yeah, I was from some of the stuff I've been looking at too as well. It all pointed to kind of that direction. I think that Philadelphia was kind of put into a tough spot, so to speak, but they made the best out of a situation that was given to them. So I'm really surprised and happy for the Flyers for them to have been able to change a situation kind of more positive in their direction.
Yeah, absolutely. GM Daniel Briere for the Philadelphia Flyers, rather, talked a little bit about trying to shop Cutter Gauthier around quietly, not wanting to make him an enemy, making like maybe protecting him a little bit. Like you said, this was a huge surprise, and oddly enough, there's a Canadiens connection to this trade that did happen. It sounds like at the last draft that Cutter Gauthier was being shopped around and potentially. Yeah, I'm not going to confirm any rumors here, but potentially Cutter Gauthier was offered to the Canadiens in exchange for that fifth overall pick, where the Flyers would have taken Cutter Gauthier and then taken Michkov with their second pick in that first round. Is there a little bit of disappointment here that Montreal passed on that? We already know that Montreal was offered a first rounder from Nashville Predators along with Yaroslav Askarov, the goalie prospect, and they turned that down in favor of Reinbacher. Any disappointment here, or are you okay with that given the result?
Honestly, I think if we're looking at the team right now and what we needed at that time, I think either one of those trades would have been good for the Montreal Canadiens. Not to downplay what David Reinbacher is. He's going to become a great professional hockey player. But I think with those two trades that Nashville and Philly offered up to Ken Hughes, I would have been for either one of those trades, in my opinion.
Yeah. And Curtis actually is going to join into the chat. I had Leonard, then Reinbacher. I had no interest in Michkov. Ryan Leonard, another forward that Montreal did pass on to take Reinbacher in this latest draft. He had a pretty good World Juniors as well, but it's fine. We'll wait and see what Reinbacher ends up being. But I guess overall, just a quick checkup here on that 5th overall pick. Reinbacher, he had an injury earlier this season while playing for Cloten in the Swiss League. Now he's been back. What can you tell us about David Reinbacher and what Habs fans can expect from this guy?
I think for David Reinbacher, he's a big defenseman. He's still young, so he's some polish he needs to do with his game. But I think he's going to, with all his defensive skill, his, like I said, big body, and if he can find a little bit more of a scoring touch as well, I think he's going to be a good defenseman on the back end for the Montreal Canadiens, behind all the rest of the prospects we do have in our system.
Yeah, absolutely. And just one last thing here. David Reinbacher, of course, he spent the preseason in Montreal. I don't think he had the greatest preseason, to be completely honest. But just in your opinion, how many years off do you think David Reinbacher might be from making his debut in North America?
You know what? I think honestly, to be brutally honest, I think it's going to be at least another season or two, which isn't a bad thing because, like I said, Montreal Canadiens has a lot of defensive prospects, and if we need to give certain ones a little bit more time to develop and come into the North American game, we can kind of afford that, to be honest, because I think with our prospect pool, we could be a little bit more lenient with some.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And did you have any final comments on that trade or either of those drafts? Are you ready to get on?
Yeah. So, I mean, just to kind of reiterate that trade from Philly to Anaheim, I was actually thinking about it. Like that second round draft pick, it could be a little bit extra for the Anaheim, or sorry, for the Philadelphia Flyers. Because you can get a lot of good players in the second round, even third round. We've had good players come out of the 7th round too as well, right? So that second round draft pick, it could be a little bit extra for them, which is a good thing for the Philadelphia Flyers. But I guess we'll see how that draft pick plays out.
Yeah, and I think that coming from Anaheim, that's a pick that could be somewhere between like 33 and 40. So that's going to be pretty high, close to a first round pick. So good on Daniel and Briere and Camp for getting that second round pick included. The next thing I kind of wanted to talk to you about is, like we've mentioned, both teams kind of going through some rebuilds here, but different stages. Philly a little bit further along as they're third in the Metropolitan Division as of now. What are your thoughts on the goaltending situation for both of these teams, and who do you think is better set in goal for the future? Right now, Montreal has committed to Samuel Montembeault, giving him a 3-year contract. Looks like they're shopping Caden Primo and Jake Allen around pretty aggressively at the moment, as they've had this 3 goalie situation going on for the bulk of the season. No one's been happy about it. And then in net for the Philadelphia Flyers, you've had Carter Hart, who's had a bit of a bounce back year. He's looked pretty good. And then Samuel Urson, who, other than tonight, I think has had a pretty good season. So who do you think is better set in goal for the future?
You know what? To be honest, I kind of looked at this. Kind of compared the 5 goalies to each other. So I mean, if we're gonna look at the number 1 spot, so to speak, obviously we've signed Monty to a 3-year deal, and he's been starting the majority of the games. His save percentage over the season so far is a 906. And then when you look over at the Philadelphia Flyers for Carter Hart, he's 10-8-3 with a 269 goals against average and a 911 saves percentage. So, I mean, between those two goalies, yeah, Carter Hart's got a little bit of a better goals against and save percentage. But I think, it's really, Flyers may edge a little bit because, Carter Hart's got a little more starts and he's kind of been around the league a little bit longer. But I think as the seasons go on, I think we'll see a little bit of a same level from goaltending. I really believe in Monty to really step up and really hold his own over the next couple of seasons.
I appreciate all of that analysis. So I'll just say here, puck drop for the second period is going to happen pretty shortly here. But did you have any final comment you wanted to throw out there about the goaltending situation for these teams?
Yeah, and then just the backup situation. I think like you said, we have three goalies in our lineup right now. But if you were to look at our two backups versus Ersan, I think Ersan right now so far has been playing the better of the three. And I think honestly, Philadelphia is kind of edging Montreal in the goaltending department.
Yeah, absolutely. Philadelphia with a shot there. 30 seconds into that period, Caden Primo has to hold on pretty tight. Man, Caden Primo, he looks confident again at the moment, but that was a scary first period for him.
Yeah.
It looked like Philadelphia was just shoving anything towards the net on his part. Since we're talking about goaltending here, Caden Primo he's not had a good pro career, if we're being completely honest. In the A, I think he's had his moments. In the NHL, I think his best moments have yet to happen. Perhaps some botched development by the Montreal Canadiens and giving him too much too soon, calling him up in his rookie season, calling him up last season when it wasn't really needed at all, and then refusing to put him on waivers this season in favor of going with a 3 goalie tandem. It's been a difficult ride for this Caden Primo guy. Do you have any thoughts on his play so far this season and going back to when he started?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, Michael. I think it's a little bit of everything on why Primo is not the goalie that we expected him to be at this point in his career. There's obviously a lot of mitigating factors, like you said, calling him up when we don't really need him, or just calling him up too early in his career. But also, I think COVID may have had a little bit, not a lot, a little bit of issue on not just Primo, but I think on a lot of prospects' way of coming along into the NHL. So I think there's a couple of mitigating factors that it is affecting Caden Primo in his game.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other end, you do have one Jake Allen, the veteran that I think has been solid. Last year was pretty inconsistent. He's definitely a backup goaltender, a 1B at best, just because consistency has been kind of an issue. Jake Allen being shopped around as much as possible by Kent Hughes right now. What can you tell us about one Jake Allen in net for the Montreal Canadiens?
Yeah, you know what? I've always liked Jake Allen as our backup. Since when he came in when Carey Price was here, and he's done a very good job. Holding the fort for us when we've been trying to figure out who's going to fill that void since Carey Price is no longer going to play anymore. And I really like his play. I mean, this year, he's had a lot of the tough starts, or majority of the tough starts at the beginning of the season, so which may have hindered his numbers just a little bit, but I still think there's a lot of good goaltending that's able to come out of Jake Allen, sorry, and I think he's still a serviceable goalie for a contending team.
Yeah, just quickly here, just a little reminder to everyone to be respectful of one another in the chat there. We don't want to see any swearing or any hate in the chat. We're all here to have fun. We're all hockey fans, even if we're fans of different teams. So just make sure that everything you send to the chat is respectful. We're okay with some chirping. If you don't like one of the teams, feel free to send in some boos. But for the most part, just a little reminder there to continue to be respectful. And we are about 17 minutes left in the second period. Montreal had their first shot, and Samuel Urson made his first save of the game in this one. But a little bit of back and forth. Neither team really coming away with anything so far. Just to bounce some things back to you here. Something else that we wanted to mention here briefly is one Josh Anderson for the Montreal Canadiens. He took forever to score his first goal of the season. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of annoying. Like it was laughable. He was not playing well. Nothing was coming to him. But he had a pretty good run in December, and he's looked pretty good as of late. So, what do you think has happened to one Josh Anderson with that bounce back?
I think honestly, he got in his head at the beginning of the season. When things aren't going your way, I mean, it's human nature. You start like doubting, and these things starts popping in your head, and it's all about how you're gonna, overcome that, right? So in the month of December, he's started scoring, and he scored 6 goals, and honestly, I think that's really helped him build his game up back to where he was, and I feel very, very positive that Josh Anderson will finish the year off strong. I'm predicting he'll finish the season with between 15 and 20 goals, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a nice solid prediction there. Montreal had a chance off the rush. That one got stopped. Philadelphia coming back the other way. That shot misses. Montreal now up to 5 shots on goal to Philadelphia's 11. So starting to catch up a little bit in that department. Philadelphia coming back offensively, but a fall right at the blue line hinders their ability to set up, but they do get a shot off. I don't think Caden Primo even stopped that one. That one kind of missed and hit the post there. Philadelphia with a ton of energy now, really dictating the play at the moment. A little bit scrambly, shot in front. Primo has to be sharp on that one, as that came very close to being another high danger chance for the Philadelphia Flyers. Amy Johnson with a great question coming in. Will the Habs get to 20 shots on goal by the end of the game? Doesn't look like it. They had 2 in that first one, but they did have 3 so far in the early parts of the second period. A little bit over, or a little bit less than 5 minutes into this one so far. So very disappointing offensively from Montreal, as the Philadelphia Flyers have dictated the play. Actually, shot attempts 24-14 for the Flyers at the moment.
Oof. Yeah, Philadelphia Flyers have really came out in the second period and said, we got to continue throwing pucks on this goalie and try to regain or try to tie it up and take control of this game here. And I think they're doing a really good job, keeping the puck for Montreal and getting the scoring chances against them.
Yeah, absolutely. Philadelphia wins the faceoff in the offensive zone. They have control in this one yet again, dictating that offense. A lot of drive, a lot of energy coming from them, and a willingness to throw anything towards Caden Primo. And why wouldn't you at the moment? Doing a good job cycling that around, but Montreal does eventually get the puck away. 3-on-3, it looks like. Kind of a weak shot towards Samuel Urson. That gets handled pretty easily. Montreal trying to keep that puck in the offensive zone, but Philly with a good job, a pass almost leads to an odd man rush there, but they have to go off on a change. And Montreal almost with a breakaway there, but they get held back. I believe a great play by the Philadelphia defender to hold them back. Looking at the chat here quickly, nice go Habs go coming in from Brooke Clark, so we appreciate that. Thank you for joining us tonight there, Brooke. And like we said, to keep sending us your score predictions in the chat and let us know where you're from. We'd like to hear from all of you. And Nathan, just a little bit over 5 minutes into this period, have you seen enough from the Habs to say that they're kind of getting a little bit better in this game? They've been, I think, a bit of a slow start is kind of an understatement for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna politely say no. I don't think they've come out and played. I don't think they've came out and played their best hockey. It really Philadelphia is beating them to the 50-50 pucks. They're skating hard. They're controlling the play. And they're just Montreal did get 3 shots on net this period, but from what I'm seeing, I think it's been all Philly.
Absolutely. 80K Jr. with a nice point here. They're not showing much intensity seem to be on their heels. I agree. That's very much what the Montreal Canadiens have looked like so far. So great comment there. And we appreciate everyone continuing to send in those questions too. Puck in the Montreal offensive zone. Slavkovsky disrupting the Philadelphia Flyers goalie from being able to play that puck cleanly. Philly lucky to get the puck out of the zone, almost an odd man break. And looks like Montreal was able to come away with the puck on that one.
Another little comment from Amy Johnson. That's a good idea, Brooke. Let's get a go Habs go. Wave started in the chat. Let's hear everybody.
Yeah, let's see if we can get everyone to do the wave.
Woo!
But approaching the 13-minute mark, shots 12-5 for the Philadelphia Flyers. Montreal still leads 2-1. Not a ton of offense coming from either team, but Philadelphia with a couple chances, just kind of throwing the puck at the net. Shot goes towards Caden Primo. I don't think it got quite to him. We're going to get a whistle down here. Ristolainen with a nice opportunity, just unfortunately could not hit the net on that one. We'll see. Yeah, that was deflected and blocked by the Montreal defender. So good block there by Montreal to keep this one at 2-1 lead so far. I guess another kind of an interesting question for you about the Montreal Canadiens, and especially as we approach the trade deadline. Yoel Armia, he was on waivers to start the year. This one kind of shocked me, if I'm being completely honest. I did not expect to see him in Laval, but you know what? He took it in stride. He was pretty professional about it too, to be completely honest. Yeah. And he's put up some good games in Laval. He's come back up a couple times. He's been up and down. But what are your thoughts on Yoel Armia? Is he, kind of back? Is he going to stay in the lineup, do you think?
You know what? I think I mean, with what's going on with Montreal Canadiens, I think he's going to stay up in the lineup. I mean, he in 8 games in the Valley had nine points, and in 23 games with Montreal, he's got 6 goals. But the last 2 games, he's been on the score sheet as well. So I mean, I'm like in the middle, I guess I could say, because you see great glimpses of play from Armia, and then sometimes you don't really notice him at all. So the consistency with Armia is not really where I'd like it, but considering what's going on with the Habs right now, I think he's going to stay up with the big club.
Yeah, I agree with that one as well. And I guess, do you think that Armia being sent down to Laval was deserving? Like, was he truly the worst player on the team and so bad that he needed to be sent down to the American League?
I wouldn't say he was so bad he had to get sent down. I think if you were to kind of look at, I guess consistency on a night in and night out basis with the players we had on our opening roster, I felt like it was a good play by Montreal, but then for the longevity of it, it's up in the air for me.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely a fair point. One thing I will say is Armia is a player that I'd like to see the Montreal Canadiens shop around with the trade deadline coming up. And so I think that's more than enough of a reason to keep him called up. As the Philadelphia Flyers once again scrambling in the Caden Primo crease. Man, everyone's down. Whistle goes. Absolute pandemonium. What in the world is going on right now? It's just like Philadelphia absolutely taking over that crease from Caden Primo.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a little bit of a shaky play, but gonna see how the rest of this period plays out.
Yeah, just taking a quick look at the replay here. Looks like, yeah, it was Savard that kind of just charged in behind Primo, it looks like, to knock down the Philadelphia player and put him on the side of the net. That knocks Primo down on his lower back. Just an odd sequence.
Just
and ADK pointing out something there. Jeez, Savard bombed him behind Primo. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. I guess it all works out in the end as the whistle was blown. But man, these Philadelphia Flyers are being very aggressive in front of Caden Primo and behind him.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been some odd sequences during this game, and a little bit of, a lot of bouncing pucks around both goaltenders.
Yeah, absolutely. Philadelphia now up to 13 on the shots to Montreal's 5. It's been a while since we've seen a last Montreal shot on net. Uh, Amy Johnson just earlier said, will they get to 20? I don't know. Are they even going to get to 10 right now? We're almost at the halfway point of the middle frame here. Montreal does dump the puck into the offensive zone. I guess they kind of chase, but a little bit slow on that one. Philadelphia picks up the puck pretty easily here. Both teams kind of a little bit slow here, but Philadelphia with a nice opportunity, sending the puck towards Primo, but Montreal with some good sticks in front of them.
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit of a good period for them, and good defensive play by Montreal so far.
Yeah, it looks like one Jordan Harris is headed to the box. Just got to take a quick look at the replay here just to see what happened. Not entirely sure, to be completely honest. Oh yeah, he puck over the glass. That's not a great defensive play there from Jordan Harris. Kind of unfortunate and some bad luck. So Philadelphia to the power play. Amy's going to give us a quick update on the Laval Rocket game. Utica's going to lead this one 2-1 off of a power play goal. So Laval down 1 goal. So kind of the mirror image of the Montreal Canadiens right now. And looks like Amy's predicting and Philly ties it. Well, I've not seen that happen yet. Look at the scoreboard.
Yeah,
so we'll see. Philly's been pretty good in the offensive zone. Do you think we'll see a power play goal here?
I think we will see a Philadelphia power play goal. But just because they've been, all over Montreal this period, getting majority of scoring chances. So,
and shot and goal. Looks like it was Jamie Drysdale that scores his first goal, his first game as a Philadelphia Flyer.
Yeah.
So there you go. As we're talking about it, Philadelphia ties this one up. You had to see this one coming.
Yeah, no, I mean, if Philadelphia, like I've been saying, they've been outplaying Montreal right now. They've come out to be a stronger team in the second. So, I mean, this is bound to happen.
So Amy Johnson predicted it. And a little bit of an oh-no coming in. If we have any Flyers fans in the Jets, definitely let us know. We'd like to hear from you. Certainly the Flyers, like I've said, they've very much been the better team here. You see that shot there. Perfect. Caden Primo, not looking good so far. Canadiens Connection, oh no. Primo glove hand again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, certainly a weakness of him. He didn't look very square to that shot in general, to be completely honest.
No, he honestly, I think he's been having a little bit of troubles in net so far this game. He's been not sliding over. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like he's fully in the game. At least from what I'm watching. Yeah, I don't know if fans agree, or fans, if you want to say anything about the chat, what you think about Caden Primo, but
yeah, absolutely. And just in general, like looking at the replay here, that could have been a stoppable shot from Caden Primo. I think he had clear vision on that one, and it just goes glove side on him. So what can you do? Just the goaltending has not been there for either team tonight. And just this is what we've come to expect from one Caden Primo. Just a little correction here. It looks like it was Morgan Frost with the power play goal. Jamie Drysdale gets the assist, and Tyson Forrester with the secondary assist. So Jamie Drysdale does get a point in his first game as a Flyer. So John Tortorella will seemingly like that quite a bit.
Yeah, I bet you that put a smile on his face after what his team's been able to do during the first period and a half.
Yeah, a little update for the Laval Rocket as that game's currently underway as we speak. Laval update tied again 2-2. Another Joshua Waugh goal. So you have to be pretty excited about this Joshua Waugh prospect. He's been pretty good so far this year with Laval, like I've said, and a pair of goals on tonight's game against the Utica Comets.
Yeah, no, it's good to see Joshua putting pucks back in the net in the AHL, looking like a very good prospect for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, so really at the halfway point tonight in the second period. Montreal actually in the offensive zone, but they don't really seem to have any clear shots towards that net. They're doing their best to keep possession, though. They've done a good job being strong on the puck, keeping that away from the Philadelphia Flyers, but not too many good scoring chances coming here. Only 6 shots on goal as we speak. And Philly with a high pass, trying to get man break here. That one gets broken up pretty quickly, and it goes all the way to the other end. Offside, as Montreal looked like they could have gone on a little bit of a rush there. And one Yoel Armia, oddly enough, as we just spoke about him.
No, it's Yoel Armia is he's a good player. Let's see if he can spark the Habs here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got a where's Montembeault in the chat.
Well,
yeah, I mean, Montembeault certainly had a good last game against mostly good. He still got scored on 3 times. I think a big save in that shootout. I think a little bit over 40 saves.
Huge.
Yeah, very good stick save. Definitely look up that replay if you haven't already.
Yeah.
But to be completely honest, I gave you your opportunity to talk about those Montreal goaltenders a little bit earlier. But I'll throw out my opinions here, and
yeah.
I hope people are okay with this. But I'm actually not so high on one Sam Montembeault, to be completely honest. When he was claimed off of waivers, I think he's certainly been better than what I expected. I didn't have any expectations, to be completely honest. So the fact that he's been pretty serviceable, great for him. Happy that he's gotten that 3-year contract. I don't know that he's been that much better than one Jake Allen, to be completely honest, a veteran. And if you look at a lot of the games that Sam Montembeault ends up playing, I think the Rangers is an exception, and it was great that he had an awesome game in that one. A lot of the times, it seems like he's playing against those bottom feeder teams. I don't know that it's official yet, but he will be starting against the San Jose Sharks. So if you get a chance, look at the games that Montembeault starts versus the games that Jake Allen starts. It seems like Allen gets a lot of those more difficult starts, and I feel like Montembeault's just been put in a better position than Jake Allen has to succeed. And you know what? Fan favorite, full credit to him for making the most of his opportunities, getting some wins on the season. But again, look at a lot of the stats, pretty similar between those two goaltenders, if I'm being completely honest, and hopefully not upsetting too many people, as I do know he's a pretty big fan favorite.
Yeah, no, I like your opinion on that. It's it's good. Montembeault is he's doing a good job for us, and I'm curious to see how the future of the goaltending will look. For 1B position, anyways, for the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Less than 10 minutes ago in that second period, tied 2-2, Philadelphia with the only goal so far in this period, coming on the power play from Morgan Frost, assisted by one Jamie Drysdale. Montreal in the offensive zone. Nice backhand shot. That one gets stopped by Sam Urson. Philadelphia looking to break the puck out once again, almost give it away at their own blue line. Some passes did not connect, and Primo's out behind his net to play the puck. Montreal trying to send the puck down the other way, but goes all the way down for an icing.
All right.
So some nice comments coming in from Pookie100. It's one of the only games I've watched. Just started getting into hockey again. I used to watch it when I was a kid, 10 to 12 years old, when there were only 6 teams. And I appreciate your outlook, Michael. So I appreciate all those comments, Pookie. That's pretty awesome. Only 6 teams in the league. That must have been a wild time. Definitely let us know about that. And certainly that was the Montreal Canadiens' bread and butter, winning a ton of Stanley Cups within that era. So, and a couple of Go Habs Go. And yes, there are 2 different ones coming from Brooke Clark. So we appreciate that too. Let us know who you think is going to win this game. We'd love to hear from everyone. Let us know where you're from and give us your score predictions. We've had a few come in. A lot of Philadelphia predictions around 4-2 Philly, 3-2 Philly for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, and let's hear if Montreal's going to get to those 20 shots that Amy Johnson brought up earlier in the stream here. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty good prediction coming there. Kind of an interesting thing too, coming out of the rookie scoring race. It looks like one Bobby Brink for the Philadelphia Flyers is actually wet right in the thick of it. Of course, Connor Bedard being leading the way, even though he's been injured, leading away by quite a bit. But rookie Bobby Brink for the Philadelphia Flyers, although being on the fourth line, he's had a pretty good season so far. Can you give us any thoughts on one Bobby Brink?
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Brantford, especially being a rookie, and not playing, minutes like Connor Bedard, but he's been holding his own, being able to get 18 points in 35 games. You know, and I think he's looked good. Especially for it being his first season in the up with the big club, and like I said, playing not minutes like Bedard, but playing limited minutes for the role he's on, and the production the Flyers are getting from, it's very good to see. This from a young rookie.
Yeah, absolutely. And his last 10 games, he's put up 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. Can't complain. That's been pretty good there. Taking a look at the chat briefly, one of our colleagues there, Gustav, who actually has joined me on a couple of live streams before, what he has to say is Drysdale, first of many points as a Flyer. So very excited to see what Drysdale can do as a Philadelphia Flyer. We appreciate that comment, Gustav, and keep letting us know all your thoughts in that chat. Coming up on the 6-minute mark, still tied 2-2. Big tumble at the blue line. It looks like a collision between Captain Nick Suzuki and one of the Philadelphia Flyers. Luckily, both players are standing up and they seem to look okay. Sharing some words, though. Big hit there by Suzuki along the boards, leading to, it looks like one of the Philadelphia Flyers just completely flipping over and landing on his head somehow. Kind of an odd play, isn't that?
Yeah, no, that's I don't really know what happened there. It's definitely not a play we like to see, but yeah.
And of course, that's coming from one Bobby Brink, who we just talked about not that long ago. So, of course, we always seem to have our connections to the game. Philly with almost an opportunity there. Looked like Primo almost fell backwards on that one. Not sure what went down there. Montreal trying to go the other way, but players get smothered, and that one gets called offside. Philadelphia now leading 17-7 in the shots department. Kind of crazy that they've been able to get so many shots as opposed to what Montreal's gotten. Montreal really struggling to get that offense running. I think a couple of lucky shots, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's Philadelphia Flyers have been putting that pressure on a little bit for Montreal.
Yeah. Brooke says, I like things beside your flag. You've got a nice setup there.
Thank you very much, Brooke.
We gave people a little bit of a tour of the room that you have set up there. Maybe we will again, once again, in the intermission. As we're towards the end of this second period here, pretty close to that 5-minute mark, coming up pretty soon. Lots of whistles, though, and a whole lot of nothing, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, not really much coming from the Montreal Canadiens. I think they're still at 7 shots on the period.
Yeah.
So not really noticeable on the gameplay from Montreal. And yeah, the Flyers did get a goal this period, but it's honestly, I think it's kind of playing out a little slow, to be honest, right now. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think besides that Flyers goal, there's really been nothing a whole lot to talk about in general. The Philadelphia goaltender Samuel Urson has made a few saves in this period. You can't say that about him in that first period at all. But it's been pretty slow in this one. So unfortunately, not a ton to talk about in this game at the moment. So definitely let us know what's going on in the chat. We'd like to hear all of your predictions. Kind of an interesting thing too. Philadelphia with another pretty cool prospect. or a pretty cool young player playing in tonight's game, and one Tyson Forrester. I don't think he's been too involved playing on that third line at the moment. But what are your thoughts on Tyson Forrester?
He's got 15 points in 35 games this season. So I mean, okay, he's getting we're getting a little bit of, or the Flyers are getting a little bit of production out of him. So I can't really say he's been getting points, right? So it's better than players coming up, to get points and play relatively low minutes on the team. But it's good to see his production for Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was a pretty big fan of this guy in his draft year. He kind of went later in that first round, but you know what? Career, he's played 47 games. He's gotten 22 points. It's not bad. I think he's going to develop into a pretty solid top six forward.
Yeah, no, it's like you said, not bad so far with his point totals, and still early in his NHL career. So we definitely get to see a lot of them moving forward.
Yeah, and Amy with a great point here. Habs are like a pendulum this year. Lifeless against Buffalo last week, then they managed to beat the Rangers, and now look, completely lost again against Philly. I think that's pretty much it. That very well describes it. Gustav's going to agree. Good job. Good point, Amy, rather. It is what it is. That's what you can expect from a rebuilding team. And Montreal with still some pretty good pieces. You have your Suzuki's, you have your Caulfields. Matheson's had good moments offensively. Defensively, it's been a little bit hit and miss there. But you can expect that consistency is what makes good teams good and what makes bad teams not so good. And that's what you're seeing from Montreal. We talked about consistency being an issue even within the game. So throughout this whole season, consistency, it's been the pendulum swing up and down. You never know what you're going to get game in, game out, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that analysis. And yeah, it's been an up and down story for those Montreal Canadiens this year. But
And it looks like actually Philadelphia is going back to the power play here. They'll have a 5-on-4 chance. David Savard for holding. So Philadelphia back on the power play. They've been, I believe it was 1 for 2 rather. They did have a power play in that first period. So we'll see if they can capitalize and get the lead on this one. So far, just about 10 seconds in, Montreal did send it all the way to the other end of the ice. This Philadelphia power play, I don't think it's been great, to be completely honest. Philly does have the 32nd ranked power play, and yet on the other end of it, they have the second ranked penalty kill. Whereas for the Habs, they have the 29th ranked penalty kill and the 22nd ranked power play. So you talk about pendulum swing for the Montreal Canadiens. Well, the Philadelphia Flyers in themselves are a big pendulum swing.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be on both ends of the spectrum, great penalty kill, terrible power play, from at least what I've seen in the past is, most teams are kind of relatively, they'll meet in the middle where their percentages are, but it's pretty odd to see, good in one area and just terrible in the other.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little update from the Laval Rocket coming from Amy Johnson. Another Laval update, still tied, but now 3-3. Toby Bisson, goal by Toby Bisson. So the defenseman gets on the board here. You got to go Montreal, go. Then go Habs, go in the chat. So we appreciate everyone getting into the chat there. Keep sending us all your predictions. Let us know where you're from too. And as we approach the end of the second period, a little bit less than 4 minutes left, we do appreciate if you hit that like button and share this to get more Habs fans to join the show. That goes a long way in helping us out and promoting these streams. We have a lot of fun on here.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you all for joining us.
Yeah, it's always fun to be here with all you guys, and like Michael said, let's get more Habs fans on here. Even if other fans want to come on and chat with us too, we have a great time with them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Philadelphia still on the power play here. Not a whole lot coming from it. About 20 seconds left here. not really too many opportunities. They just had one there at the side of the net, but that didn't even hit Primo. Montreal does send the puck all the way to the other end of the ice. 10 seconds left. Will they get one last break here? It looks like they're moving a little bit slow. Coming up the ice, though, 3, 2, 1, and it's even strength once again. So that last place Philadelphia power play certainly showing why it is last place, because there was absolutely no life in that whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah, that's their rank and their play today kind of speaks for themselves. Why they are the last place power play in the league right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a few more Go Habs goes in this chat. Brooke Clark's been really holding down the fort in terms of Go Habs goes, so we appreciate that. And of course, any Flyers fans, let us know. Amy's secretly a Flyers fan, not a Flyers fan. And was just as bad as the Habs' first power play. So great point coming from ADK once again. I agree with that. Not a whole lot for Montreal either. Both teams not great on the special teams, besides the Philadelphia Flyers penalty kill, which is actually doing pretty well so far this season.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's I don't know, it's been entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pookie, my boyfriend is from Ottawa, so he roots for the Senators. Asked him if he wants a Senators jersey, and he said, "Do you want me to get beaten up?" LOL. I agree. Actually, behind me here, I do have a Tim Stützle jersey that my girlfriend got me. I'm from Ottawa too originally. I grew up watching a lot of Senators hockey. Kind of fallen off of it in the last few years, but more just NHL in general. I like covering the Habs too for the last 3 seasons. And looking at the Senators this year, what a disaster. And what do you even do? Like, they're up against the salary cap and everything. I don't know. It's just sad to watch. The players look sad too. Tim Stützle, actually a player that I like, he looks like he's gonna cry at the end of every game. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, Ottawa's got a lot of good firepower, and it does suck to see a team kind of be stuck in their head, especially when they're not getting the wins consistently. I would like to see, Ottawa kind of bounce back from that and kind of give the fans better and stronger performances moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Approaching the 2-minute mark here. Just a comment coming in from Henry. How has Drysdale looked so far? I missed the first part. And Amy Johnson to the rescue here. Drysdale has an assist tonight on the power play. So looking pretty good so far. I've not noticed him other than that. But you know what? Getting a point in your first game with a new team, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's I think it's pretty good too.
Montreal trying to get some offense going here in the final 2 minutes. Shot got blocked. Player fell over. Now they're trying to cycle it around a little bit here. Philadelphia being pretty aggressive, doing a good job with their sticks, but now they look like kind of a tired group, to be completely honest. Not
Yeah,
sure what's going on. Maybe they'll want to get a change at some point.
yeah. I mean, it's just it's been a little I don't know. It's not really been the entertaining period I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, see how the last minute and a half leads us to.
Yeah. Caden Primo out to play the puck. David Savard going to ring that one around. Montreal trying to come up the ice here, looking for some kind of offense, but Philly's goaltender Sam Urson plays the puck there. Philadelphia coming all the way down to the other zone, past the red line, past the blue line. Odd man rush. Shot doesn't get through. Puck now behind the net. Philly looking for a pass. They shoot it all the way to the other end of the ice. So a bit of a broken play there by Philly. They actually get the puck right back. They break it in once again, trying to get it through some Montreal bodies, but Montreal clogging up the center of the ice pretty well. Philadelphia looking for something. Slap shot from kind of the side. That one doesn't get through. And now it's all the way out of the zone. Now it's back behind the Philly blue line. Once again, easily breaking into the zone. Almost a sweet setup there. One too many passes by the Philadelphia Flyers. Couturier not happy about that. He looks frustrated. 18.3 seconds left in this one. And Philadelphia, yeah, you're leading the shots department 17-8. Probably should have a better result right now, but what can you do? You still tied 2-2. 20 seconds left in the second period. Sean Couturier does not look happy about this whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably looking at the shots and the chances, and he's just frustrated of the results so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure that you stick around for our intermission show. At the end of this period, we're going to take about a 3-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll have some awesome hockey topics to talk about. We might even talk a little bit about the PWHL. That went underway, and a lot of people seem pretty excited about that. There's a Montreal team, too. So we're going to talk about that in our next intermission. So make sure you stick around for us as that second period comes to an end, and it's still going to be 2-2, tied up. The Philadelphia Flyers with 17 shots on net, whereas the Montreal Canadiens only 8 shots on the net. Stick around with us. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. And we're back. Live stream on YouTube. All Habs is the name of the channel. Just search at All Habs, and you can subscribe. Make sure you don't miss a single one of these live streams. We also put all sorts of Montreal Canadiens content. Amy Johnson, one of our amazing contributors, hosts 2 shows throughout the week, the Habs Hockey Report and the Rocket Hockey Report. So that's going to be a great way for you to stay up to date with everything Montreal Canadiens and Laval Rocket. Plus, I am the host of the Canadiens Connection podcast. You can find that on any of your favorite streaming platforms, and you can find every single episode at CanadiensConnection.fm. Also, we put out the content for the Hockey News Montreal. So anything Montreal Canadiens on the Hockey News, that's done by us. THN.com/Montreal is where you can find all of our great content. game day posts, feature articles, prospects. We cover the Laval Rocket there too, even the Trois Rivières Lions of the ECHL. Make sure you follow us on all of our social medias at Rocket Sports on Twitter, at Rocket Sports Media Inc. on Facebook, and at Rocket Sports Media on Instagram. Now, tied up 2-2 after 2 periods. Just a little recap here. The lone goal of that period comes from one Morgan Frost of the Philadelphia Flyers on the power play, assisted by one Jamie Drysdale. His first point as a Philadelphia Flyer. Philly leading the shots department 17-8. Kind of a snoozer of a second period. Not a whole lot outside of that one power play goal. And we talked about that a little bit. Did you have any other points that you wanted to mention about that one?
Yeah, I mean, we said, like you said, it was a snoozer. Montreal, at least, hey, positive. Montreal got some shots on net, more than 2, which is awesome to see. But I think both teams can definitely pick it up in the third period, because it's in my eyes. I think the Philadelphia Flyers, obviously had, I think, more of the scoring chances, but I think both teams need to open up in the third period to be able to grab the win for their club.
Yeah, absolutely. Just gonna look at the chat briefly. Amy with a great point. Anyone else having a sofa dance party during this video? Man, you should see me during the intermission. Like, I love the music that Amy Johnson's provided us. I certainly bob along to that one a little bit too. Pookie chimes in. Come on, Montreal, pick up the pace. I agree. More shots on goal. You need to get some chances. You had 2 off of 2 shots in the first. No excuses not to get more on net. And like we talked about just beforehand, something we wanted to mention here is the PWHL. That has come underway. Women's hockey, a pro league, team in Montreal, team in Toronto, a team in Ottawa. Honestly, it's been pretty exciting. They've gotten a ton of viewers so far. A lot of people seem pretty happy about it. And that Montreal team, one win, one loss, a win against the Ottawa team in overtime in Ottawa. And there's, I guess, home opener coming up this Saturday in the Verdun Auditorium in Montreal, just before they move over to Place Belle after that. What are your thoughts on the PWHL, and are you excited? Also, I'd like to open up to the chat if this is something that people are excited and keeping track of right now.
Hey, honestly, I think the PWHL is amazing. I think it's opened up a lot of opportunities for women to jump into the professional leagues just as men, and it's really enjoyable to see all the hard work and dedication that was put in to finally be able to roll this out. For all countries for the PWHL. I know personally, I've got a lot of friends that are kind of wishing they were able to grow up in like this kind of an era where there is a PWHL where like they can work towards getting into this league. But I honestly, I think it's a phenomenal thing to have, and I really love it how it's just really growing our sport for men and women.
Absolutely, and to be honest, I feel like outside of the PWHL, we had the Toronto Six for a while. That was kind of cool. They won a championship. But honestly, having pro women's hockey is great. I love hockey in general. Whenever there's like a world tournament, I'm always tuning into that one. Marie-Philip Poulin, great Canadian, one of the best Canadian athletes ever, in my opinion. And I think it's just amazing that they've been able to pull this off. I think very smart with getting 3 Canadian teams in there. There's also some teams in New York. I think we got a question about that one. Yeah, there's some teams in the USA as well. I believe there's 6 teams at the moment, so should be a lot to cheer about. And it's a different style hockey too. When you've tuned in and watched, what have you thought about the product there?
Honestly, it's entertaining. I know from things I've read, obviously they want to grow that PWHL league to take on more things like maybe a little bit more hitting, but they're gonna do it at least from what I've read is they're gonna do it based on like what the league's looking for and what the players are looking for as well. Honestly, I've tuned into a couple games. I tuned into the January 1st game and Montreal's first game as well. I enjoy it. I mean, I love, like you said, Michael, I love hockey, World Juniors, any kind of hockey, I'll watch it. And I have lots of fun watching the PWHL.
Yeah, like I said too, it's going to be a different style. You get that in any league. Even if you follow Laval Rocket and you watch some AHL, it's a different style of hockey there too. So I'm all for it. The more hockey I can get, I'll just eat that all up. And excited to maybe go out and see a game at some point. Some people in the chat coming with some interesting comments here. Pookie says, I would love to see a women's hockey league. There was a woman goalie in the NHL, Manon Rhéaume. I remember this. Tampa Bay Lightning, first female player. I think she got into a couple preseason games. Don't think she got into a regular season game, but nevertheless, a great moment for hockey in general. A couple more things in the chat just to get to here. We turns out we do have a Flyers fan. Let's go Flyers in the chat. So we appreciate fans of all teams, and just confirming there, Manon Rhéaume, the goaltender, the first female goaltender to play in the NHL. She played for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So thank you, Pookie, for confirming that. 1992 to 2009. So that's been pretty awesome. And I encourage like anyone that's not checked out the PWHL yet, definitely something to look out for. You're not going to get the same style of hockey you get in the NHL. I know a lot of people might tune into a different league and feel like, I'm not really used to this style, but it's still very entertaining. Like I said, same thing if you tune into the AHL, same thing if you tune into junior or university hockey. It's all different styles, and in general, I think we're all just big hockey fans here. So pretty happy to have more of that, and excited to have a team in Montreal for sure. Nathan, do you think you might take a trip out to Montreal to see one of these Montreal games?
Oh yeah, I am definitely going to be going out to Montreal. I'm going to try to see all three leagues: AHL, NHL, and PWHL. Hopefully, when I go out later on this year. I've never been to Montreal, so I'm pretty excited to do that. And why not make sure to get all three leagues all in one shot while I'm there.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a few other things that we wanted to talk to everyone about too. And we had a Winter Classic planned in the NHL. It went down not too long ago in Seattle. Seattle won this against the Vegas Golden Knights 3-0. And looks like we might have another one happening in Chicago coming up in next season. Montreal's yet to have one. To be honest, I think the only time I've seen Montreal in an outdoor game, actually, I got to see this live. It was in Ottawa, Montreal versus Ottawa. That's was the Winter Classic at TD Place, but I don't think there's been one at Montreal yet. So, what do you think about this, Nathan? Is it about time?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's time for Montreal to be having an outdoor game in Montreal. I know from what I've heard, there's always been some kind of talk, but for right now, I just don't think they have a spot that they can set up to play, so to speak. But honestly, I think if Montreal does get an outdoor game, I'll be buying a ticket first thing as soon as they open up. But you know what, they're one of the original six teams, and I feel like they do deserve an outdoor game on home soil for them.
Yeah, I think one of the things that maybe gets in the way is, where are you going to put it in Montreal? Not too many great outdoor venues. Like there's McGill where the Alouettes play. I don't think you can really do it there. Montreal FC, the soccer stadium, I think that could be a good place. It's kind of near the Olympic Stadium, holds like 20,000. And then there's the Olympic Stadium that has a roof on it, so it wouldn't truly be an outdoor game.
Yeah.
At the same time, the NHL played a game at Lake Tahoe just for the view. So I think, you know what? No excuse. You can find a place in Montreal. It's a big space. I don't think it has to be outside either, to be completely honest. Put it in the Olympic Stadium if you can. I'd love to see that. So I'm a little bit disappointed it's not happened yet, but absolutely, I would love to see this happen, and NHL can make it happen.
So let's go back into the chat. Eustification, sorry if I mispronounced that. Happy Jamie got his first point as a Flyer. Yeah, it's good to see his first game out and being able to get an assist on like power play goal in the second period. Yeah, it's good for him to get the point on his first day with the club.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Amy Johnson kind of reiterating, definitely a good start for him to get settled in. Totally agree with you, Amy Johnson. Thanks for the comment. And Ms. Blaylene, Nathan and Michael, you're a great representatives of hockey. Very knowledgeable and passionate. Habs fans are the best in the NHL. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate that.
I love that. Big thank you. We appreciate that compliment there, and means a lot to us to hear that too.
Yes.
And I was corrected. It's Picky, not Pookie. I caught that one. Mitch, LOL, just kidding. Appreciate that, playing around a little bit. And of course, yes, thank you, Michael and Nathan, for the great podcast. Awesome, guys. We appreciate that too. We love doing these. We have a lot of fun, and we encourage everyone keep getting into the chat here. Lots of interesting comments coming in the chat too. It's Canadian weather. What do you think about this one, Nathan?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just look at this year right now. I mean, I think on record, Canada has seen the warmest December on record over the last who knows how long this past year. So I completely agree with you, Sean. Canada weather is so unpredictable for this, but yeah, I would love to see it too as well.
Yeah. How have they not had an outdoor game yet? It's true. This is why we're bringing it up. I think it would be awesome. Let Gary Bettman know we want something in Montreal. There's tons of places you can do it. Like we said, to have to be outside, put it in the Olympic Stadium. That'd be awesome. There's a big park outside the Olympic Stadium. You can build something there. Parc Jean Drapeau, where Osheaga and all the big music festivals happen. Put something there. Tons of green space, tons of area around Montreal. And as Amy Johnson is pointing out, the NHL could have Montreal play host for an outdoor game up near Mont-Tremblant. That's a little bit far, but I'd love to see that too. That'd certainly be great for the view. Absolutely. Anywhere the NHL can put it, I think it would be more than worthwhile for them to do that. And like I said, if you can put a game at Lake Tahoe, like why can't you put something in Montreal?
Yeah.
Meat AT chimes in with a Go Habs Go. Hi, peeps. Nice for you for joining us there. And Canadiens Connection. Is that a pickle juice mason jar? Actually, I believe this is a Classico jar that I've been using for water. So thank you for pointing that out. I love my pasta sauce. And Brooke Clark, once again, I like the things beside the flag there, Nathan. So once again, I know we did it at the beginning of the show, but if you want to just go ahead and point that,
sure.
Give us a little tour once again.
All right, guys. So yeah, again, there's my Montreal Canadiens flag, and then I got my two lawn gnomes. They're on display, and then I have a Ken Dryden signed hockey card there with the Montreal Canadiens toque and scarf, and I got a couple of jerseys hanging around throughout the room. But as I continue to place all my Montreal memorabilia in here, I will continue to show it as more podcasts happen this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the setup, and love that you've got something that looks a little bit nicer than my black walls here, but that's all good.
Oh, your setup still looks good. I just I have nowhere else to put it.
So as we come near this third period, one last thing to talk about is the Montreal defensemen. Actually, I think two of the better defensemen tonight have been Jaden Struble and Jordan Harris. Actually, they appear to be leading the way for defensemen in terms of time on ice, behind Matheson with the 10 minutes for Jordan Harris, 11:30 for Jaden Struble. Something that's kind of been floating around here is what's with all these young defensemen in Montreal? What's with all the veteran defensemen in Montreal? There's so many, and they're all very serviceable. Yeah. Lots of defensemen in the system, so much to the point where Montreal put Gustav Lindstrom on waivers and lost him to the Anaheim Ducks earlier. What do you think is going to happen to all these Montreal defensemen? And is there kind of an odd man out here with all the prospects and veterans?
Well, personally, I feel like some of the veterans are going to be traded away. One being David Savard. I have a strong feeling he will be going to a contending team this year before the trade deadline. And we'll have a couple defensemen coming off our books, like Chris Weidman. I think his contract's up at the end of the season, so that frees up a spot. But honestly, I think for the rest of the, Jaden Struble, John Kovacevic, Jordan Harris, Justin Barron, Mike Matheson, Arbor Jacki, Lane Hudson, Logan Mailloux, David Reinbacher, for those guys, I feel, for us to figure out who's going to be that solidified, sixth defenseman plus, a seventh defenseman as well, we're going to have to give them all kind of some playing time up with the big club and see who's going to produce and look better out of the bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. David Savard he's been okay tonight. I think he's actually had a lot of shots on goal, which was pointed to us not too long ago. You mentioned that you can see him getting traded. You have Mike Matheson with an A. Do you think that there's a possibility that Montreal could look to move on from him in order to make room for young guys? Or do you feel like maybe it's time to move along a young defensive prospect and bring in maybe an area in which they're lacking a little bit elsewhere, potentially a goalie or a forward prospect?
Well, honestly, I feel that, Mike Matheson is tradable on this team. The reason why I say this is because what you're getting out of Mike Matheson. You know what he is. He produces points. I mean, so far this season, he's had up and downs in a defensive zone, but I feel like we can get a great return for him to a serviceable team, which will allow us to open the door for these young defensemen. I feel more comfortable, in my opinion, trading away, a veteran versus trading away one of our prospects. Because I'd rather give the prospect a little bit more time to develop, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Mike Matheson is definitely a trade piece, whether it's this year or next year, but definitely will happen, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a great point too. Something cool kind of came into the chat as we were chatting there, and what they have to say is, "I got to watch Montreal hoist the cup as a kid in '76. Proud of the Flyers fans for being classy for the ceremony." So there's a tie-in with the Flyers tonight, but amazing story.
That's awesome.
That's absolutely amazing. We appreciate hearing that, and feel free to send in any other stories you might have. This has been pretty great. Amy Johnson agrees. Very cool. On the topic of defensemen, though, we have a comment here. Jacki and Mailloux need to be back with the Habs. What do you think about that? Do you think this is a possibility?
Well, honestly, to be completely honest, I think Jacki might be able to come back up to the Habs this season. As for Logan Mailloux, considering it's his first year in the AHL, and we have defensemen are playing their roles very well for the big club right now. I feel like Mailloux should stay in the AHL, let him develop a little bit more. Because we have quite a big defenseman up in the big with the big team, so hopefully, I mean, I would bring our Arbor Jacki up if needed, and then just keep Mayu down there cooking and getting the experience needed.
Yeah. Another follow-up comment to that. Jacki plays old school. I love his style. And yeah, that's why he's become a bit of a fan favorite in Montreal. I see a lot of Jacki jerseys on the Metro here, so I know a lot of fans love him. I'm sure he'll come back at some point, but I do think it is important that he works on all the parts of his game and develops into a really good defender.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that.
Gustav chimes in. Maybe the Habs can do a young player swap like Philly did with Goche. Yeah, always out on the lookout for that. And there's some precedents. Kent Hughes going after Kirby Duck. Kent Hughes going after an Alex Newhook. So you never know. And I think that that's kind of the right move for Montreal as long as you don't overpay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Michael.
little follow up there on Arbor Xhekaj as well. Yes, he plays tough, but he also plays well. Oh no, I agree. He's very good. He plays well. Like I think his offensive game is a little bit underrated, but working on his defensive game just a little bit more. He's a young guy. He was undrafted. He went straight from the OHL to the NHL. That's pretty rare and difficult to do. So nothing wrong with giving him time to work on his game. About 16:03 left in this third period here. Honestly, not a whole lot going on. Montreal did get to 10 shots, actually 11 now as we speak, and Philadelphia with 18 shots on goal. But still waiting for some more exciting plays. So we'll continue along in our chat here, and we'll see what people have to say. ADK Jr. Matheson trade instead of Savard. What do you think about that, Nathan?
You know what? I would definitely trade Savard. The only reason why I would like to keep Matheson is, he's a little bit younger than Savard, and we can keep Matheson with the club to kind of bring the young guys along. I know Savard's been doing that quite well for the Habs, but I think if we had to choose, at least in my opinion, I think Savard would be the first guy to go instead of Matheson.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about Savard too, I didn't really like his play last season, and I didn't really like his play the season before. But he's been pretty good so far this season. So I think while he has value, you should absolutely be shopping around and seeing what you can get for this player. Whereas Matheson, like you said, a little bit younger, so I think he'll hold on to his value a little bit more. He's a good puck mover. He's a quarterback in that first power play, so. I think that if Matheson ends up being more of an off-season move, then that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Big news coming from Amy Johnson. Mayu named to the AHL All-Star roster today. So big congrats to Mayu on that.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. About the 15-minute mark here. Still not too many chances for either team. Montreal starting to get some shots here and there, but nothing super high danger from what I've been able to see. Like to see a little bit more of a push from both teams. I think in the first two periods, it was Philadelphia, no question, the better team. Yeah. But so far in the third, like I said, still continuing to be a little bit of a snoozer at the moment.
I agree. Both teams aren't making good passes. It's just sloppy work right now. It's like you said, a little bit of a snoozer.
Yeah. Love this nickname, Black Eye by Jack Eye. That's pretty great. I hope that one sticks. Appreciate the creativity. Another awesome. Go Habs go from Brooke Clark. So keeping that one rolling. Hopefully that sends them a little bit of energy. Gustav has to say, in my opinion, Habs should try to keep at least one veteran D. So I would not trade both Matheson and Savard. I think that's a solid point too. You certainly want one veteran D for when times get tough. You don't want to let your younger guys get completely shelled. So I think like we both kind of agreed. I think the move is shipping out Savard this season, and in the offseason, if there's a move for Matheson, I think you do have to take it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
ADK Jr., Kovacevic, Baron Harris, all seem to be stuck on their development. I actually like Baron, Harris, and Kovacevic. All three have been good players. I actually think Harris has been a great player tonight. Pretty good with a lot of those possession stats too. Kovacevic, I've liked what he's brought to the table, but sometimes he does end up being the healthy scratch. I think at times he can be kind of an odd man out on this team. And like I said, I think Barron has a lot of potential out of the three. Probably my personal favorite out of the three. And he shows a lot of, I guess, like offensive capabilities. I'd love to see Barron get a little bit more power play time.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. Like he came over from the Lykinen trade, and he's played good. I think obviously Kovacevic, Baron Harris, all have to keep working on their game to continue to climb in the professional ranks. But I think they've been playing very well for Montreal for what the season's been.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amy Johnson. Okay, viewers, who takes the lead next, Montreal or Philadelphia? I think we saw a lot of Philadelphia predictions. So let us know if you have any final thoughts as we're in this third period, partway through it, coming up on the halfway point. We get Montreal, please. So we'll see what happens. I think we had at least one Flyers fan in the chat, so let us know what you think too. And I guess, Nathan, based on how things have gone here, what do you think is more likely to happen? Philadelphia breaks through against Primo, and Primo continues to be a little bit scrambly in the net, or Montreal with another deflection shot that gets through Samuel Urson.
Well, again, I have to go with my gut, and I honestly feel that Philadelphia Flyers are going to score that next goal. They've controlled majority of the possession, majority of the shots. They've just looked like the better of the teams tonight. But again, that deflection goal, because I'm kind of tossed, but I'm my gut's telling me the Flyers are going to score the next goal.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. I think I'm a little bit disappointed in the Flyers so far this period. I feel like they could have generated a little bit more than they have. But like I said, they've been the ones driving the play from the first two periods. You see there, slap shot by the Flyers gets stopped by Primo. Flyers leading the shots department. In my mind, I think the Flyers have to break through at some point.
No, I completely agree with you on that one.
Chris has to say, Slick Nick will set up something. Will set up something up soon. I hope so. Slick Nick. I'm assuming that's Caulfield. Maybe it's Nick Sealer, but I'm assuming that's Caulfield because of the Chris Habs. And on our topic, talking about defensemen, Sean has to say it's always good to keep at least one veteran to help the young players develop. Absolutely, I do agree with that one. And Mike Matheson does have the A on his chest, so maybe he does have some leadership qualities and can help shepherd in this young defensive group.
Yeah, no, it's I agree with that.
Yeah. Slick Nick Suzuki. So we got a clarification from Chris. We appreciate that one. So, about 13 minutes left in this third period. Again, not a ton. Philadelphia leading shots 21-14. I haven't seen too many high danger chances overall, although a lot of pucks to go towards Caden Primo just kind of look like they're going to be good scoring chances in general. EDK chimes into the chat once again. That's the upside on Savard. I think he seems to be great in the locker room with younger D. And yeah, I think Nathan, you talked about him possibly being that guy that's actually a pretty good role model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's I mean, from some of the takes I've seen over the season, I see a lot of the young guys smiling, laughing, having fun, and I just feel that Smart's got that father look to him. I guess you can say probably towards those young defensemen.
Yeah. More comments on that Montreal D. Amy Johnson says, gotta say that Jaden Struble has looked like a natural fit so far. Seems very comfortable in the NHL. And I think to me, that's the surprise of the season for the Montreal Canadiens is when Jaden Struble, he didn't make the team out of camp. He got a call up. I think there were some injuries that kind of led to that. But since coming up, he's a great skater. He's got a little bit of vision offensively. He's a big body. He can get physical. I don't see any reason to send him down at any point, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I completely agree with all those points, Michael. Struble, he's definitely made the decision for Montreal's management team a lot difficult moving forward on what they want to do with all their prospects. So looking to see how this continues to unfold.
Yeah, and once again, he played well against the Rangers last game, talking about Struble. So a lot of people seem to agree. And Gustav as well, our colleague. Struble is very good for a rookie, definitely a keeper. So Yeah, big surprise. He played in the NCAA last season. He came and played a few games in Laval towards the end of the year. I
Mhm.
think he has a great radio voice if he wants that career after he's done with hockey. But in general, seems like a good kid. Seems to just do everything right. Very defendable.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that one too as well.
And I'll let you read out this comment from Chris.
All right, so Chris says, I like that Strubal's fit gives Jack Guy more ice time in the AHL. It helps his skating. You know what, Chris, I completely agree with you on that. Any kind of prospect getting more time to develop and get better as a player for themselves and for the team, I think is definitely a good benefit for Jack Guy to be in the AHL.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up on the halfway point in this third period, still waiting for a little bit more action from both teams. Both
Yeah.
teams kind of sitting back a bit here, it seems.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and not a ton of shots either, to be completely honest. Philadelphia up to 23 shots, Montreal up to 15. I think that's a huge jump from the first period. We'll keep an eye and see if they manage to actually get to 20 shots in this one, like Amy suggested.
Yeah. And just gonna go back to the comments here from Yostification. Nice podcast, guys. Flyers are finally getting back to playing real hockey again. My cable is out, so I found you guys, and I'm enjoying your cast. If you want to catch a fun podcast, check out. Thank you very much for the comment, Justification. We enjoy you being here and joining us in the chat. And unfortunately, I'm very sorry that your cable is out, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're happy to try and take you through with a little bit of our commentary. Taking a little bit of a back seat on our commentary in this one, just because we've not had a whole lot of action so far, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to see a little bit more predictions from people in the chat, how they think this game is going to end. Let's see if we can get some more people in there. Somebody that we actually haven't talked about on the Montreal Canadiens in their prospect pool is one Lane Hudson, coming out of a very good World Junior. I'll let you take a second just to talk a little bit of one Lane Hudson.
Uh, Again, he's a phenomenal player. I think for his size and what he brings to the game and what he brought to that US team in the World Juniors is just, the cherry on top for the Montreal Canadiens and what they're getting from Lane Hudson. I've just been super happy with his play and one of my favorite pieces from that World Junior game is, I don't know, 5 foot what, 6 versus a 6'4" player on the Swedish team. Pretty big difference in size, and he was able to look like he held his own. But what are your thoughts on that, Michael?
Yeah, I thought Lane Hudson actually looked pretty good, and I no longer have concerns about Lane Hudson's size after that little scrum there. He held his own. I think overall good tournament. I'd like to see him maybe score a little bit more. He was getting quite a few assists, but I'd like to see him get some slappers into the back of the net. But overall, one of the best players on that U.S. team overall, and excited to see him. I think there's a very good chance that we see him in a Habs uniform before the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see that, even if it's just one game. At least he can say like, okay, got into my first game, get the jitters off, and then maybe he can kind of maybe find a spot next season with either with the AHL or with the big club.
Amy Johnson, tie game with 9 minutes left in regulation. Let's see some Go Habs go, or let's go Flyers. Chance in the chat. Who are you rooting for? Yeah, I think that we have a few fans of both teams, but definitely let us know who you're rooting for tonight. Chris is predicting Caulfield will score if it gets to overtime. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. He is Mr. Overtime, done pretty well in that area. And I think they must be exhausted. They are like the gladiators of our day. I predict the Canadiens win in the shootout thanks to Caulfield. And we just had the Flyers hit a goalpost there when right past Caden Primo, beat him pretty cleanly. But fortunately for the Montreal Canadiens, that one stays out of the back of the net. Montreal is going to have to be pretty careful as the Flyers look like they might be starting to come on a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, Other thing I will mention is actually our very first stream on this channel. We had 7 rounds in the shootout, so I'm kind of hoping we don't get that tonight. Fingers crossed, but you never know. It looks like this one could very well be heading to overtime.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the Flyers, like you said, Michael, it looks like they've picked up their play. Like they took the puck away from Montreal when they're trying to leave their zone at the red line there, and now they've just been pouring the pressure on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to hear from people in the chat. Let us know your last minute predictions here for who you think is going to win, and we'd absolutely love to see some Go Habs go, and maybe some Let's Go Flyers chats in the chat here. Flyers with another opportunity at the side of the net. Caden Primo with a nice
Yeah.
stop there. That was nice. That could have been pretty dangerous. Flyers kind of in their own zone here, looking to break out that puck. That one doesn't connect to anyone. And Montreal going behind their net, searching for the puck. Flyers with a nice nifty move there to come away with possession before Montreal finally does take it back. And that goes all the way to the other end, right to the Philadelphia defenseman, and they'll kind of try to break it back in. The Flyers in the Montreal zone. Nice pass, nice shot. That one gets blocked. Scramble right in between the hash marks. Nothing comes of it.
Yeah.
We got to come on Habs in the chat. So a little bit of frustration from Habs fans, it seems. It's been a while since we've seen a Habs shot. The Montreal Canadiens, just shots are very far. Like besides those first 2 goals, which I think, Philadelphia would love to have those back.
Yeah.
Really had nothing in the tank offensively. This is a pretty disappointing performance.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that. I mean, yeah, I think Slavkovsky got the second goal, but I honestly, from what I've been seeing, I haven't really seen much of the first line out there really applying pressure and being able to hold the puck in the offensive zone. But then you look at the rest of the Habs, it's not really been a good game for them, to be honest.
Yeah, Canadiens Connection says Caden Gooley with 7 blocked shots tonight. So Gooley having himself a good night in his own zone there. Might be a little bit bruised up after this one. Gooley, if we're talking about young defensemen, Gooley's actually might be my favorite of the bunch. I think this kid has the potential to be a top line defenseman on the Montreal Canadiens, to be completely honest.
Yeah, he's a big body and the way he plays the game and he, plays defensively, plays offensively, and he's just I really like how he plays and his gameplay throughout this season so far. I've really enjoyed watching him play.
Absolutely. 80K with a nice comment there. Nobody set the tone. You got to set the tone. So I love the Shoresy quote there. Big fan of that show. We get another Go Habs Go in the chat. Amy says, feeling like TK or Farabee could break this tie. Just might be. And some more Go Habs Goes in the chat. So let's see if we can get a little bit of positivity for these Montreal Canadiens. Nice stop there by Caden Primo. He, after being scored on glove side, he's been all right with the glove. That's been kind of a weakness so far in his early career, but nice to see him glove that one down. Not a great shot, to be completely honest, but you know what? Top of the crease, not super scrambly. Nice just to cover that one up and keep things out of trouble.
Yeah, it's for right now, it's all Caden Primo can do. Just keep that puck out of the net because right now it's been hard for Montreal to even, like we said earlier in this period, get a shot on goal. You mentioned it's been quite some time since Montreal has been able to get a shot on net, and looks like we'll be waiting a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we're going to be coming up on 5 minutes left here. Just so everyone knows, too, like if you haven't already, we really do appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to tap the notification bell as well. We're going to be doing a few of these live streams per month as we approach the remainder of the season. I believe we're almost at the halfway point, so we'd appreciate if you all did that and joined us once again for some more of these streams. We love having all of our viewers here and engage into the chat. Also, we appreciate tapping that like button, hit share, so we can get this out to more Habs fans or fans of other teams as well. We've got some fans of the Flyers in the chat here too, so we appreciate all of that. Nice comment here from Le Smoke. Guess what? I am new to you, and I believe the Habs will win. Let's go Habs go. So appreciate the positivity here for the Habs here. Who do you have for the Habs scoring? I'd like to hear your prediction for each team there, Nathan.
You know what? I'm going to say for the Flyers, I'm going to steal a page out of Amy's book. I think Travis Konechny, one of my players to watch, is going to get that next goal for the Philadelphia Flyers. And I'm going to have to go with Slick Nick being able to get that next goal for the Canadiens. So I'm hoping, obviously, the Canadiens to win. But let's see how the rest of this period plays out. Who do you think is going to score the next goal for each team?
You know what? We've been talking about defensemen. Give me a Matheson Montreal Canadiens goal. And for the Philadelphia Flyers, what better way to top out this game than for a nice Jamie Drysdale goal? The game winner and an assist for his Flyers debut.
Yeah.
Also, just for everyone too, just so you can mark all your calendars, we'll be back here on this channel for another live stream, January 25th versus the New York Islanders. So we'd love to have you all back here. So mark the calendar, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other of our streams and some of the other great content that we put out there. Also, get a little shout out to our Rocket Sports Media colleague Gustav, who's going to be on the Hockey Podcast Network on January the 17th on their YouTube channel, THPN, for a live stream of the Montreal Canadiens versus the New Jersey Devils at 7 p.m. He'll be joined by Neil. So Neil and Gustav will be hosting that one over on the Hockey Podcast Network. But for us, Nathan and I will be back here on the 25th. So mark your calendars. We'd love to have you all back here. About under 3 minutes left in this period, still tied 2-2. Philadelphia over 30 shots, 31-16 are the shots for Philly. Montreal not generating a ton so far in this one. Like we've talked about a bit too, I think kind of disappointing performance from them. Looking at the chat just for a minute here, Sean, Leaf fans here, but Canada strong. Go Canadiens. So appreciate.
I love it.
Awesome. And ADK, Gooley took a hit into his hand. So hoping Gooley's okay. He's looked great so far tonight. We've talked about how he's had a lot of blocked shots so far in this game. Certainly an anchor on the back end for the Montreal Canadiens. Looking at the roster there too, I don't think I had a chance to hear your thought on one Justin Barron yet there, Nathan. So what are your thoughts? I feel like Habs fans are a little bit mixed on him. I think he's one of my more favorite prospects, but where are you at with him?
Well, to be honest, he's ranked highly on my prospect pool for defensemen. The only thing that is kind of giving me a little bit of a red flag, but not so much, is just his gameplay has been inconsistent this year. He's had really good games. He's made some bad plays in some games, but I like I said, he's still high on my prospect pool, but I think he's still he needs a little bit more polish to his game at the NHL level. But I think that he'll do just fine as his career continues on here in Montreal.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit up and down. Jordan Harris, I think he dealt with an injury earlier this year, but he's starting to come back into form and certainly one of the better Montreal Canadiens defensemen tonight. Do you have any thoughts on one Jordan Harris?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Harris, I think it took him, I think that his first goal a couple games back, I'm pretty sure. But I really really liked seeing what he's been able to bring to the game throughout this season and the games he's played, but also how he's been playing tonight. Like you said, he's been kind of one of the better defensemen for the Montreal Canadiens, and I have a strong feeling he will continue to grow and continue to stay on this Montreal Canadiens team and produce points.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go, coming up on the 2-minute mark, still tied 2-2. In the Montreal zone, Montreal defenseman trying to get the puck out of the zone. An errant pass goes right to Philly at the red line, but Montreal is going to take this one right back. Heading down into the Flyer zone, Montreal with possession. Just kind of trickles down to the goalie who plays it, but Montreal scoops it up again at the point, looking for a shot. Now, bounced it against the boards. Kind of a weird bounce, but that gets covered up by Samuel Urson. I think both teams just looking to send anything on net. And again, why wouldn't you, based on the play of both of these goalies?
Yeah, I mean, that I completely agree with you, Michael. Both teams, you can just tell like the last 45 seconds, both teams are in an offensive zone, just like you said, trying to throw those pucks on net. But each team is throwing their bodies in front of this puck because they know there's just been some unlucky bounces for either team, and it's cost them. But we're leading into like the final 2 minutes, so let's see which team comes out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like it's going to be in the Philly offensive zone. But again, Montreal been all right defensively here. They've done a good job clogging up the middle at the very least. They've got it all the way to the other end, and your buddy there, Slick Nick, is out there. Montreal does have control of it. Caulfield and Slavkovsky out there with him, looking for a pass. He'll send it to the point. Philly with some good coverage. Montreal with not a ton of options. They're far to the outside, putting the body against the boards and being able to send it out into the offensive zone for the Philadelphia Flyers. Big hit there, sends a Montreal defender on his back. Philly maintaining possession here, looking for something, maybe an opportunity. Slick move and a backhand misses. Philadelphia still has the puck on their sticks, passing it around, looking for something. Montreal trying to swarm them, just happens to bounce over the defender's stick, and Montreal will get the possession back.
Yeah, no, I feel that Philadelphia is putting the pressure on a little bit, and like you said, or like we've said, both teams are just trying to get the shots on net to see if what's going to bounce in.
Absolutely. ADK Jr. chimes in. Finally, looks like they're stepping up a little bit more in the last few minutes. So certainly see that too. Philadelphia still seems to have the upper hand a little bit.
Yeah,
Less
no,
than a minute to go. Will we see a goal before the end of it? Or are we going to get to overtime here? So Montreal in the offensive zone. Shot on Urson. Not a whole lot to come of it.
yeah, I mean, let's hear your predictions, guys, in the comment section here. Is it going to go to overtime? Is it not? Who's going to score if it does?
About 20 seconds to go here. Montreal being very slow, very careful. A little bit of a dump and chase. Philadelphia first to it. They ring it around the boards all the way to the other end. 10 seconds and we're going to get icing. So Montreal with an opportunity. If they win the faceoff, they could get a quick shot onto the net here. Maybe we can get a timeout from one of these teams. Maybe a bit of a tired group. We'll see what happens here, but it looks like Montreal with less than 10 seconds left. They will not get to the 20 shot mark within the within regulation time. Montreal wins the faceoff to the point. Matheson, slap shot, stopped by Urson. This one goes into the corner. 3 seconds, 2, and that's regulation. Oof. We're off to overtime once again, Nathan.
Oof. Gotta love overtime.
So bold prediction, 22 scores in OT. Chris says Caulfield is a lock in OT. So lots of love for the Habs here. Go Habs, go. Caulfield, Suzuki, come on, you can do it. Let's get everyone's overtime predictions, one per team. I want to hear it. Someone agrees with me. I'll call Matheson. We got to go Habs go in the chat.
I love it. I love it.
And Amy, OT score predictions. Suzuki for Montreal, Couturier for Philadelphia. I don't think I can read Suzuki without wanting to say Slick Nick anymore. I'm
know,
just
right?
going to replace Suzuki with Slick Nick. I love that so much. That was great.
Yeah, it
But
is.
just a reminder here to everyone, if you've not already marked your calendars, we're going to be back on this stream on January the 25th as Montreal faces off against the New York Islanders. I believe we had someone in the chat that said they're going to that game live, so jealous of you. Wish I could get out to some more games, but we'll have a lot of fun here too. Islanders are kind of an interesting team as well, so excited to talk about them. But of course, just so everyone, if you have not already, I'll keep saying it, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to tap that notification bell. Don't miss any of our content. So we'd love to hear from all of you.
All right.
Leo, as soon as I come to the stream, it's overtime. Yep. And Amy Johnson, Leo, Steph, you're the lucky OT charm. Please, not 7 rounds of the shootout this time. I would appreciate that happening. But let's just do a quick little recap of the game so far. 2-2. Montreal got off to a pretty quick start, getting 2 goals in the first 10 minutes of the game. Monahan with the first one, minute 30 into the game, and then it was David Savard with his 4th of the season. But the Philadelphia Flyers get within 1 with an Owen Tippett goal at the end of that first. And partway through the second period on the power play was Morgan Frost, assisted by one Jamie Drysdale. That leads us to 2-2. And nothing has happened since then. Not a ton of opportunities. Montreal only 18 shots on goal. Philadelphia 32. Primo's been all right, a little bit scrambly. So we'll see what happens here. We get a prediction, Drysdale for Philly, so it makes the highlight reel moment. That's what I'm saying. That's the storyline.
Yes.
And Amy says it was 12 rounds. Oh, is it? I don't even know. I lost count of that stream.
There were so many.
Yeah. Anyway. So as overtime starts, Philadelphia in the offensive zone, buzzing around, 3-on-3, lots of open ice, looking for some open passes here, and they decide to turn back for no apparent reason. Hate when that happens. Little update here from Laval, Amy Johnson. Laval also headed to overtime, tied 5-5 with Utica. So that's been an interesting game. Definitely check out. There's going to be a game recap at thn.com/Montreal under the Rocket tab. So look out for that one tonight if you want to know what happened. I guess Philadelphia slowing the game down in their own zone. And we got a prediction here. I'll say Owen Tippett for the other side, but fingers crossed that's not happening, respectfully. LOL. Appreciate that. Stop by Primo. That one gets smothered up. About 3:51 to go in overtime. No shots for Montreal yet. With smoke chimes in, it's time. Mathematically, maybe number 8. So a lot of people agreeing with my Matheson prediction.
Yeah. Wow.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say I don't think Montreal is looking too good in this overtime. It's really no chances for them, and Philadelphia Flyers are just hanging on to that puck, like you were saying earlier.
Absolutely. Montreal does have possession right now after they win the faceoff. Looking for an open pass. Philadelphia very aggressive on that forecheck, deterring Montreal away. Looking for something. Montreal with a little bit of a break here. They get into the offensive zone, but Philly very quick to smolder that one up. Looks like it could be headed the other way. Montreal being very aggressive on the forecheck too, getting the stick in there. Philadelphia with possession in the offensive zone. They turn back. They don't like what they see, so they go back to their own blue line, looking to regroup. Philadelphia with the shot. That's stopped by Primo, covered up again. That's what you want to see from Primo. Don't mind that one at all. But man, it's been all Philly so far in this overtime.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I feel like it's got to be Philly winning tonight. No.
yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Michael. I mean, my prediction at the beginning of the show was a 5-4 victory for the Flyers. But honestly, just a little bit of a tidbit there. The only rush Montreal had going into Philadelphia's zone, Drysdale actually broke that up and took
Nice.
the puck away from them. So he's looking pretty good in overtime and defense for the Flyers.
Yeah. Here's another thing I will say. This is the third time I've seen it where Philadelphia, unforced, takes the puck out of the offensive zone and goes back to their own zone. Um, I don't like seeing that overtime. I'm a little bit disappointed that they keep doing that, to be completely honest. You have all sorts of open ice. Come on, give me some offensive chances. Score a goal. If people don't like the shootout, apparently, this is why we keep getting to the shootout, because you're not trying to score. So Philadelphia be better, although they have been the better team so far. Opportunity in front of Primo. That's stopped and broken up by Montreal. And as
Yeah.
Chris points out, big poke check by Primo. Yeah, that was solid read there by Primo. Credit where credit's due. And looks like we're getting some applause in the chat here.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Great job. Yeah, we appreciate you all being here and hope you can join us next time too on the 25th. Once again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It really helps us out. We have a lot of fun doing this, and we appreciate you all for joining us today. Philadelphia wins the face-off in the offensive zone. They get a shot from the point, stopped by Primo, who goes for a spin. Montreal gets possession. Will they be able to get it out? And they do, but this one goes all the way to a Philadelphia defender. Philadelphia breaks in.
Oof.
Coming down along the boards, almost taken away, but they hold on to possession. Out of the zone once again.
Philadelphia just looks frustrated, I think.
Yeah, I don't like that they keep turning back like that. That's number
Yeah.
4. And now they have an odd man rush. Shot. Primo locks that one down in the butterfly. Primo with a pretty good overtime here. He's looked pretty confident. That might be the most confident I've seen him all season.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, and people in the chat too. Have faith, guys. I've got some faith here, and a nice slick save coming from ADK Jr. Talking about Caden Primo. Montreal, nothing for them so far in overtime.
Yeah.
We got to go Habs go in the chat from the smoke. Philly with a shot. Drysdale with a shot. That's turned aside by Primo. I think something's going on with Primo's mask. Yeah, he takes off his mask. Something happened. I think maybe something popped off there.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, I saw him playing around with that. I was wondering why he wasn't taking it off, but he does, so it's fine. Talking to the official there, too. Looking at the replay, shot from Drysdale. Yeah, that catches him up high. I think that popped off maybe a chin strap or something.
Oh, well, good call by the ref to blow the whistle.
Pepe says, need the Flyers. I'm sorry, guys. That's all right. We appreciate fans of all kinds. ADK Habs look, maybe the cheese steak for lunch wasn't a great idea. That's a great comment there. And people, ooh, I feel you, Peppy. And a go Flyers coming from Seth. So we're getting some Flyers fans in the chat here. Almost 1 minute left in overtime. Philly wins the faceoff so good that it comes out of the zone. Once again, looking to regroup. Montreal, I don't think, has had any time in the offensive zone really here. It's been all Philadelphia. And like you said, looking a little bit frustrated. They're trying to find their opportunities. Shot stopped by Primo. Behind the net, battling right behind Primo. And Montreal does come away with it. Will they get anything out of it? Nope. It looks like Philly's going to jump in the middle and take that puck away. Almost a breakaway. That pass just slightly off. Tries to send it in front. One extra pass. Stopped by Primo. Philadelphia trying to be too creative. Pass broken up. Montreal trying to go the other way, maybe. That one's stopped by the Philadelphia Flyers, though. One more rush. 30 seconds left. Pass stopped by Primo. Great side-to-side slide by Primo to stop that one. Montreal with the breakaway. Stopped by Urson. So breakaways on both ends. Great stops by the goalies. Montreal with their best chance of the period. That one misses. Coming the other way. 5 seconds left. Will they get one final shot? Nope. Drives the net, knocks the net right off. 0 seconds left in overtime.
Oh.
And once again, the shootout. So lots of excitement there.
Holy. Wow. That was
a little quick update here coming from Laval, though. Utica wins 6-5 in overtime. Thank you for keeping us up to date with that one, Amy. And make sure you check out Amy's game recap, thn.com/Montreal under the Rocket tab. What were you about to say there, Nathan?
Oh, I was going to say it's been a wild last minute there with chances on both ends and players driving the net hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would have given Montreal a little bit more, but they had some chances at the end there. But Philadelphia, I think they deserved better. And Gustav pointing out a live stream blessing or curse. Another stream, another shootout game. That's how it goes for us. This is Michael and Nathan special, giving us a shootout. Chris says Primo is having one of those games. You know what? He's had a good last little bit of the game. Certainly scrambly for a little bit in that first and second period, but solid overtime. I don't think this gets to the shootout without the efforts of one Caden Primo.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I agree with you on that one for sure.
Trying to keep up with the chat here, Sean Webb. 20-round shootout. You know what? Sure, why not? May as well happen tonight.
I want to stay up till 11.
Chris, Josh Anderson is a thoroughbred, probably the most underrated player in the NHL. You know what? He's had a good comeback season. Looks like we've got the shootout underway, though. I'll just take a second to look at that. It's going to be Sean Couturier with the first shot for the Philadelphia Flyers. It's going to be best of 3, and then it goes to the sudden death if needed. Couturier coming in. He comes down the side, coming right through the dot. Shot scores. Beats Primo cleanly. Primo gets caught moving a little bit too much there.
Yeah.
So looks like we got some Flyers coming into the chat here as Slick Nick Suzuki gets his opportunity in the shootout. So kind of comes down the same way Couturier does. Right in the middle, no opportunity. Urson covers the bottom of the net there. Great,
right with them.
Great read there.
Right with them. What good stop by the goaltender.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Suzuki, he was trying something there, but Samuel Urson with a great read there, probably his best save of the game. Now it's the Flyers with an opportunity. Coming in slow. Off the post. That was close by Konechny.
Woo!
Oh, man. So still 1-0 for the Flyers in the shootout.
Yeah.
Right it off the post. That one beat Primo. I think this might not be Primo's best shootout that he's ever been in. Now it's Caulfield with an opportunity. Kind of comes down the same side as Nick Suzuki. Comes down the middle. Shot stopped by Urson. So kind of similar ways to come in that shootout. And Urson standing tall. Credit to him.
Yeah. No, he's played the slick Nick and Caulfield really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bobby Brink with the third shot coming in for the Philadelphia Flyers. He has an opportunity to end things right here. Coming down the opposite side, through the middle, stopped by Primo. He goes right down, and Brink just could not get that puck high enough. Otherwise, he could have beat Primo, I think. So, yeah, no, but credit to Primo covering the bottom of the ice there, making it difficult on the backhand.
All right.
Blocker save.
Woo!
Now Montreal with one last opportunity. Misses. It's the Philadelphia Flyers coming away with a 3-2 victory.
Ooh. Oh, what a shootout.
So there you go. Thank you all once again for joining us here. Appreciated all your comments in the chat. Once again, like a little reminder here to everyone, make sure you check out all of our great content, thn.com/Montreal. That's the Hockey News Montreal. Follow us on social media at Rocket Sports on Twitter, at Rocket Sports Media Inc. on Facebook, at Rocket Sports Media on Instagram, and our podcast, Canadiens Connection.fm. And we appreciate you all being here with us tonight. Thank you all for a great game. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be Sean Couturier with the shootout winner, 3-2 for the Philadelphia Flyers. We'll be back here on January the 25th. Mark your calendars. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss a single one of our live streams. And on that note, thank you for a great night, Nathan. And thank you all for tuning in. We are the Habs Connection, your inside source to the Montreal Canadiens.